Chapter 1089. It was just a side profile, but it was uncanny, resolute, and handsome. The other party tilted his head slightly with a smile on his lips. "I'm your new shadow, Hiyenji." After hearing this, Little Chi opened the door and got out of the car. Hiyenji seemed to have expected her to have such a reaction. He got out of the car and stopped her. "Xiaowan." Little Chi raised her head and slapped him with all her strength. "Get lost." Hiyenji tilted his head but still pulled her into the car. "Let's go to school, Mississippi." Little Chi sat in the back seat and twisted her body, not wanting Hiyenji to see her expression. "How could I dare to trouble brother he to be my chauffeur?" Hiyenji opened his mouth but did not say anything. He just drove Little Chi to the entrance of Jianchuan High School. When they arrived at the school gate, Hiyenji opened the car door for Little Chi. However, Little Chi got out of the car and did not even want to look at him. "Go back and be your big brother. Don't disturb my life anymore. If I, Xing Qingwan, say that I don't want it, I won't want it." Hiyenji looked at her stubborn back and mocked himself slightly. However, before Little Chi could go far, he said to her, "At 5:30 p.m., I'll wait for you at the school gate." Little Chi did not stop and walked straight toward the school gate. Just now, Xiaowan had said, "How could I trouble brother he to be my chauffeur?" The fact that she could say this meant that she had long known about his actions in the underworld because he had replaced the big brother who had stabbed Andy Hong back then and become the second in command. Now he could do whatever he wanted in both the underworld and the underworld, but he had never come to look for her. How many times had he been disappointed that he had become so cold-hearted? Back then Xiaowan had a pair of clean and clear eyes. Now there was always grief in Xiaowan's eyes that could not be dispelled. He knew that this was all caused by him. He had imagined the scene of their reunion thousands of times, but he did not expect her to say such decisive words. The day of their reunion was the day of their end. This was the scene that she had long thought of, right? Hiyenji watched Little Chi's figure disappear and returned to the car. Just as Little Chi had said, he was now the boss of the gang and he still had to deal with gang affairs. Little Chi stood on the teaching building and watched the Rolls-Royce leave. There was no obvious change in her expression, but this could only deceive others. She could not deceive herself. After returning to the classroom, Yanjun was shocked to see the dark circles around her eyes. "What happened to you last night?" Little Chi snorted. "You'll know after school." "What are you trying to hide?" Little Chi didn't say anything else. Instead, she buried her head in what a student should do. When school was over, Little Chi walked with a large group of classmates. When she saw the Rolls-Royce, she walked over with everyone. When Hiyenji saw her, he got out of the car. Then he heard Little Chi say to everyone, "My driver is here. I'll be leaving first." Yanjun was stunned. Everyone was stunned because Little Chi's new driver was Hiyenji. Little Chi deliberately emphasized the word driver and called so many people together. It was obvious that she was humiliating them. Hiyenji was Xing Qingwan's driver. Xing Qingwan's new driver was Hiyenji. This person who had been missing for so many years actually appeared again? He even became the Xing family's chauffeur. Everyone had complicated feelings, especially Yanjun. She had watched Little Chi change little by little in the past 5 years. The person she did not want Little Chi to see the most was Hiyenji. Therefore, she immediately followed Little Chi into the Xing family's car. What's going on? Chapter 1090. I still want to know what's going on. Little Chi sat in the back. Her tone was cold and there was even a hint of anger. "Hiyenji, are you here to fool around again?" Yanjun could not get an answer from Little Chi, so she attacked Hiyenji. "Since you left, you shouldn't have appeared again. You deserve to die." Hiyenji didn't say anything, but he looked at the front passenger seat. Yanjun followed his line of sight and found a machete on the passenger seat. There seemed to be blood on it. Yanjun was so scared that her face turned pale. She didn't dare to say anything. Midnight 7 looked out of the window. At this time, Hiyenji tilted his head and asked Little Chi, "Do you have homework? If you do, you have to go to my house for the time being." "I have my own home," Little Chi answered stiffly. "Your parents went to Italy and asked me to look after you for the time being," Hiyenji replied calmly. "What are you?" Little Chi directly asked Hiyenji. "Send me to the Shin family. Even if there's no one left in the Shin family, I still have the Xing family. It's not your turn yet." As Yanjun listened to their conversation, she became even more flustered. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have gotten in the car. Hiyenji paused for a moment. His voice was a little hoarse and there seemed to be a hint of pleading in it. "Grandma wants to see you." "That's your grandmother, not mine." Little Chi did not waver at all. Her voice was still as hard as a rock. 5 years ago, Grandma injured her right leg in that fire. All these years she has been in pain. Her only wish is to see you. Yenji softened his voice. I can go see her, but I hope that from then on, you won't disturb my life anymore. Yenji, I admit that I still love you, but I hate you even more. After hearing Little Chi's words, Yenjin's eyes couldn't help but widen. What kind of enmity did these two people have? Especially Little Chi's mixed emotions of love and hate. She felt goosebumps all over her body. So, don't force me anymore. Let me live. Little Chi's every word was like a sharp sword that pierced into Yenji's heart. I promise you. I'll retreat to a place where you can't see me. After Yenji finished speaking, the car stopped because they had already arrived at the entrance of the hospital. Yenji brought Little Chi into the hospital's recuperation department. Only then did Little Chi see the old man she had not seen in a long time. She was still fanning herself and sitting peacefully in the wheelchair. Her right leg was empty. Because of the fire, the old lady had lost a leg. Seeing this, Little Chi couldn't control herself and burst into tears. When old lady he saw her, she immediately became excited. Lil Wan? Are you Lil Wan? Little Chi walked over and squatted down in front of her. Grandma. Oh my Xiao Guai, Grandma finally sees you again. My Xiao Guai. In the old man's arms, Little Chi couldn't control her emotions and cried silently. Grandma has been looking forward to it for many years. Grandma has been waiting and waiting. Grandma was afraid that you didn't want that kid anymore. Grandma is old. After Aunt Hong left, I'm his only family member. So, how can Grandma be at ease when I don't see you? Little Chi didn't know what to say. She only felt the old man's palm was burning hot. Now that you're here, I'm relieved. After saying that, the old lady fainted on Little Chi's shoulder. Little Chi immediately turned her head and shouted at Yenji, call the doctor, call the doctor. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1091. The doctor tried his best to save her, but there was nothing he could do. Old madam, he was already physically and mentally exhausted. The reason why she endured the pain was because she had strong willpower to hold on and wanted to see Little Chi again. Without seeing Little Chi, she couldn't stop worrying about Yenji. Now that she had seen him and her wish had been fulfilled, she didn't want to hold on anymore. She couldn't hold on anymore. Seeing the kind old lady on the hospital bed, Little Chi cried out loud. Behind her, Yenji reached out to hold her waist. Why did you let me see this? Yenji, you and I are not from the same world. Why did you have to drag me in? What is this? Little Chi punched Yenji's body excitedly. I really wish I could kill you. Yenji wrapped his arms around Little Chi and squatted on the ground to comfort her. I know I'm very selfish, but this is Grandma's only wish. She has been in pain for too long. I don't want her to continue to be in pain. Since you knew she was in pain, why didn't you appear earlier? It's been 5 years. Yenji, what's the point of you appearing now? The murderer who killed Auntie Hong was executed yesterday, Yenji said hoarsely. Why would I drag the old, weak, sick, and disabled with a belly full of hatred and a kill order to stay by your side? Little Chi was speechless. She could only lean on Yenji's shoulder and cry bitterly. Xiaowan, I don't have any relatives anymore. At this moment, Yenji's voice was low and broken. Little Chi closed her eyes. She didn't want to think about anything. She just felt too tired and wanted to sleep. Yenji hugged Little Chi and watched as she fainted. Then he picked her up. Yenjin was outside the ward. Seeing this, she quickly asked, where are you taking Little Chi? There's a funeral at home, so I won't send you off. With that, Yenji left the hospital with Little Chi in his arms. This time Little Chi slept very soundly. When she woke up, she found herself in an unfamiliar room. At this moment, it was dark outside the window. Little Chi got up to open the door but was stopped by the man outside. Miss Sheng, brother, he told you to rest well. Where is he? Little Chi asked. Downstairs. Yenji's subordinate answered. Little Chi went downstairs barefoot and saw that the living room downstairs had been decorated into a morning hall. In the middle of the morning hall, there was a photo of old Madame He. In the photo she looked so peaceful. Yenji stood in the middle of the morning hall with a gloomy expression. Little Chi looked at this man from behind. Her heart suddenly ached, but this did not mean that she had to forgive Yenji. She said that she still loved this man, but at the same time she hated him very much. As if sensing someone behind him, Yenji turned around and saw Little Chi looking at him with a pale face. He whispered, why don't you sleep a little longer? I want to go home, Little Chi answered hoarsely. All right. Yenji only said one word. Then he ordered the subordinate behind little Qi, Jichu, send Miss Sheng home. Brother He. Now. After saying that, He Yanji turned around and looked at the old lady's photo. Miss Sheng, can you not go? Brother He doesn't have any relatives anymore. The subordinate called Jichu looked at little Qi pleadingly. Please, if you don't want to see him, go upstairs and rest. But, can you not leave this place? Little Qi didn't say anything, but her heart ached. However, she still didn't leave heartlessly. She went straight up to the second floor and returned to the bedroom she had just been in. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1092. Thank you, Miss Sheng. Jichu followed behind little Qi and thanked her. His tone was humble and pitiful. Little Qi couldn't say a word. Perhaps, deep in her bones, she still had some expectations for He Yanji, but she didn't dare to admit it. After returning to her room, little Qi looked at He Yanji's room again. There was a bed and a wardrobe. Other than that, there wasn't even an extra sofa. It was empty and cold. Was this really the room of a big shot? Does your brother He usually live here? Hearing little Qi's question, Jichu nodded. Yes, I've been with brother He for so many years. His life has always been so simple. He doesn't have much to do to pass the time. Then why do you know about me? Brother He hid it very well. In the underworld, he doesn't even dare to reveal the most important person to others. Isn't that equivalent to giving the other party a target? But I know because I've seen a photo of you in brother He's wallet, Jichu explained in a low voice. Every time brother He completes a big mission, he will take out the photo to take a look. I've secretly seen it a few times. Go out. Let me be alone. Little Qi's heart tightened when she heard Jichu's words. She didn't know what the man in the morning hall below was feeling at this moment. Little Qi lay on the bed. The smell of He Yanji's body still lingered on the bedding. Under the familiar smell, little Qi relaxed her tense nerves and unknowingly fell asleep with the bedding in her arms. In the middle of the night, she was woken up by a nightmare. She wanted to sit up, but she found that she couldn't move her waist. Little Qi looked down and found an arm across her waist. Behind her, the man's even breathing could be heard. Other than He Yanji, there was no one else. Little Qi struggled to get up, but He Yanji held her down. Shaowan, let me hug you for a while. Just for a while. I haven't forgiven you yet. Grandma is gone. From now on, who should I fight for? In the darkness, He Yanji suddenly asked mournfully. This caused little Qi's body to tremble, and she suddenly felt so much pain that she couldn't control herself. Back then, when Aunt Hong was in trouble and Grandma was injured, there were people who offered a bounty of 200,000 to take my life. I left without saying goodbye. I chose to leave because I knew that Grandma would not be able to live without me. However, you still have your parents and relatives. Little Wan, it's been 5 years and I've been living in the nightmare of Aunt Hong's blood every day. So I swear that I will avenge Aunt Hong at all costs. Grandma has never liked me being in the underworld. I know that after the fire, her lungs were badly damaged and she developed lung cancer. I tried everything I could to keep her by my side, but when I saw her enduring the pain, I knew I was too selfish. I have no family. From now on, I have nothing. In the faint moonlight, little Qi cried silently. Especially when he heard He Yanji say that he had nothing. What about me? What am I? When she asked this question, little Qi clearly felt that the body behind her was slightly stiff. I don't dare to say anything to ask you to stay. He Yanji, let me tell you, I hate you, I'm angry with you, and I wish I could cut you into 1,000 pieces. However, only I can bully you. No one else can. We haven't broken up yet. I'm not done with you, little Qi shouted excitedly and hoarsely. Chapter 1093. After hearing this, He Yanji fell into ecstasy. He quickly tightened his arms. The feeling of regaining what he had lost made him want to cry. Little Qi hugged He Yanji's arm and couldn't help but cry. You bastard He Yanji F***ck your ancestors. Why are you being reserved? Can I cut you into 8 pieces and make soup to drink? As long as you left me a word, even if it was just one word telling me to wait for you, I would have no complaints. And today, as long as you said that you wouldn't let me go, as long as you said it, I wouldn't refuse you even if I died of discomfort. In the end, you still need your little brother to beg me for this? Because I'm afraid. He Yanji answered hoarsely. I can't lose any more. Shaowan, I'm afraid I'll collapse. Little Qi was so angry that her heart was blocked, so she bit He Yanji's arm, leaving a row of neat teeth marks. You just lack someone to take care of you. He Yanji hugged little Qi tightly and blew his hot breath into her ear. Please don't interfere. That night the two of them cried and laughed. They talked to each other tirelessly, so much so that in the end, they didn't even know how they fell asleep. The next morning, little Chi woke up from the bed and turned to look at He Yanji. However, he had already gotten up. Little Chi heard the sound of morning music downstairs, so she quickly got up. Unexpectedly, Ji-chu was waiting at the door. "Miss Sheng, you're up. Brother, he asked me to send you to school." "Where's he?" Little Chi asked as she tidied up her appearance. "He's downstairs dealing with the old lady's funeral, so I'm afraid he won't be able to send you off personally. Brother, he said that when the old lady's matter is settled, he'll personally be your chauffeur." Ji-chu conveyed He Yanji's message seriously. Little Chi listened, her expression unreadable. After a long while, she continued to ask Ji-chu, "When is the funeral?" "Tomorrow morning. I'll come back tonight." Little Chi wrote her phone number on Ji-chu's palm and asked him to hand it to He Yanji. "Watch him. If there's anything, remember to call me." "Okay." Ji-chu clenched his fist and nodded vigorously. Little Chi silently walked down the stairs and left the courtyard when He Yanji's back was facing her. He knew He Yanji's intentions. There would definitely be many people from the underworld coming to pay their respects at the old lady's funeral. He did not want him to be involved, so he asked Ji-chu to send him away. Little Chi felt that she was very strange. She clearly hated him, but she could not help but want to listen to him. She silently made plans for him, especially when she saw him dressed in a black suit and bowing to the guests in the morning hall. Little Chi clenched her hands tightly. If it was true love, how many people would be able to see the person they loved suffer? Forget it. He would slowly settle the scores from the past 5 years with him in the future. Since he couldn't escape, then he wouldn't. She was going to be an adult soon, so there was no need to play hide and seek like a child. After Little Chi left, Ji-chu gave the phone number to He Yanji. "Brother, Miss Sheng asked me to give this to you." He Yanji took out his phone, wrote down Little Chi's phone number, and added it to his favorites. "Note, wife. When you see her in the future, you have to call her sister-in-law." He Yanji secretly swore in his heart that from now on, he would make up for everything he owed Little Chi. "I only have you and only you." Chapter 1094. When they arrived at school, Yanjun saw Little Chi enter the classroom and quickly dragged her to the corridor. "What happened yesterday? Yanji's grandmother is really gone?" Little Chi nodded, confirming that what Yanjun had seen was true. "Then what are your plans?" "I don't have any plans. I'll stay by his side and slowly torture him." After saying this in a normal tone, Little Chi carried her school bag and returned to the classroom. Yanjun shrugged as if she had expected this outcome. However, was she really not afraid of being hacked to death by a gangster? This really required courage. If it were an ordinary person, they would definitely hide for a long time. During the break, the school was filled with gossip again. The topic revolved around He Yanji and Little Chi. Hearing the questions from others, Little Chi remembered that in order to deliberately humiliate He Yanji yesterday, she had let the whole school see that He Yanji was her chauffeur. "Xing Qingwan, is He Yanji really your chauffeur? Didn't he go missing? Isn't He Yanji being supported by a rich woman? But why did I hear that he's now a big shot in the underworld?" Faced with the questions around her, Little Chi felt a headache coming on. If she had known that she was looking for trouble for herself, she wouldn't have done what she did yesterday. She had hurt others and herself. "When I saw He Yanji yesterday, I felt that he was even more handsome than before. Black windbreaker, white shirt, and that body of muscle. I could tell at a glance that he was very strong." Little Chi was speechless. Little Chi really couldn't stand a bunch of women fantasizing about her man, so she quickly found a quiet place to hide. She didn't know if the grief in his heart had lessened after a whole day. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Little Chi walked out of school and saw Ji-chu driving a car and waving at her at the door. "Sister-in-law." Little Chi coughed lightly and quickly walked over. She opened the car door. "Don't call me that in the future." "But, brother," he ordered it. Is he okay today?" Little Chi put away her anger and asked softly at the mention of He Yanji. "How can he be okay when his dearest person is gone? After a whole day he's haggard." Ji-chu sighed slightly. "Sister-in-law, only you can comfort him." Little Chi did not say anything. At this moment, what floated in her mind was He Yanji's lonely figure from last night. Soon Ji-chu brought Little Chi to He Yanji's residence. At this moment there were no outsiders in the morning hall. Only He Yanji was sitting in front of the old lady's portrait. Little Chi put down her school bag and walked into the morning hall. She picked up a white chrysanthemum from the door and placed it in front of the old lady's coffin. "I regret it very much. I promised He Yanji to see you last night. If I didn't show up, maybe..." He Yanji grabbed Little Chi. After she squatted down, he hugged her. You don't have to blame yourself. I was the one who made this choice. In that instant, little Chi pushed Hiyenji away. You're having a fever. Do you know that? Hiyenji leaned against the cold wall, looking haggard. Just as he was about to answer, he realized that someone had entered the morning hall, so he pushed little Chi to Ji Chu. Go up and eat and rest. I'll come up later. Little Chi frowned. She realized that the person who entered the morning hall was not a kind person, so she did not refuse and went up to the second floor with Ji Chu. Brother Yang, Yenji, I'm sorry for your loss. The person called Brother Yang entered the morning hall and offered the old lady a bouquet of flowers. You have to take good care of yourself. You're my right-hand man now. I can't leave you. I know. Hiyenji nodded respectfully. However, there was a fog hidden in his eyes, making it impossible to see through him. That girl just now is the young lady of the Sheng family, right? Brother Yang looked upstairs meaningfully. I'll introduce her to you another day. Chapter 1095. Brother Yang, please forgive her. Her family doesn't want her to have anything to do with the gang, Hiyenji explained to the other party apologetically. You know, the other party patted Hiyenji's shoulder and nodded. Brother Yang understands. It's better not to provoke the Sheng family. However, if you can get involved with the daughter of the Sheng family, it will be more convenient for you to do things in the future. I'm happy to see it happen. Hiyenji frowned but did not explain. After Brother Yang left, he turned around and saw little Chi at the staircase. Hiyenji opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end, he could not say anything. Come up and take your medicine. Little Chi did not question him. She only said these words and turned to go upstairs. Hiyenji followed her upstairs and saw little Chi's busy back. He was secretly a little anxious, but he did not know how to explain it. He did not come back to look for her for that kind of thing. The room was dark and the light was very weak. Hiyenji sat down on the bed tiredly. He did not dare to look away from little Chi for a moment. Shawan, are we unable to go back to the past? Why are you in such a hurry? You've been gone for 5 years. Can't I be angry for a while? Little Chi replied with her back to Hiyenji. Lie down and sleep. I'll wake you in the morning. I'm afraid that you'll leave. Hiyenji took off his gloves and placed them on the bedside table. His voice was low and dry. If you keep talking, I'm really leaving. Hiyenji lay down obediently and waited for little Chi to bring the medicine to his mouth. If you still have a fever at night, you have to go to the hospital to treat it. Hiyenji obediently took the medicine and took the opportunity to hold little Chi's hand. Soon he fell asleep. Little Chi sat by the bed and looked down at his hands that were holding her. Especially on the back of his right hand, there was a long scar. It was ferocious and evil. No wonder he had to wear gloves. Had he really been living on the edge of a knife for the past 5 years? Little Chi sighed slightly. Under the moonlight, Hiyenji's resolute face became calm and gentle. However, looking at the corners of his eyes and side profile, there was a trace of murderous aura. 5 years ago, Hiyenji was cynical and unruly. At this moment, Hiyenji was mature and steady. It was hard to fathom him. Little Chi looked at his sleeping face and unknowingly fell asleep on Hiyenji's chest. At this moment, Hiyenji slowly opened his eyes and looked down at the little woman on his chest. He reached out and carried her to the bed. Little Chi thought that this was a dream. In her half-asleep state, she smiled at Hiyenji. This was the first time little Chi had smiled at him since their reunion. It was very sweet and soul-stirring. Hiyenji couldn't help but turn over and kiss her. The vow that they could only kiss at the age of 16 was still ringing in his ears. However, this little woman was about to turn 18. Not to mention kissing, she could even directly abduct him to bed. Of course, he didn't want to yet. He wanted this little woman to completely forgive and accept him, both physically and mentally. Because he was afraid of waking little Chi up, Hiyenji only dared to carefully taste the sweetness. When he opened his eyes and saw that she was sleeping soundly, he reached out and hugged her so that she could sleep more comfortably. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the alarm clock broke the silence in the room. Little Chi propped herself up and realized that the seat beside her was empty again. Hiyenji had already gotten up. At this moment, he was in the old lady's room packing her belongings. Chapter 1096. Everything here had the old lady's shadow and aura. Hiyenji stood in the room tidying up the things one by one. His hands did not stop, but his back view was full of loneliness. Because he still believed that he had killed the old lady. If he had not made a deal with Brother Nan back then everything that happened later would not have happened. Auntie Hong would not have died, Grandma would not have died, and his family would not have left him one by one. With this thought in mind, he could not help but clench his right hand. The old lady's brooch in his palm pierced his palm and blood flowed down. When little Chi saw this, she quickly walked up, raised his right hand and scolded, "Let go. Don't you want your hand anymore?" "I don't." He Yenji let go of his right hand and looked at the blood-stained brooch in his palm. "Because I killed Grandma. Grandma never blamed you. Even when she died, she was still worried about you. If you still have the heart, send Grandma off on her last journey." Little Chi's eyes were red as she took the brooch away from He Yenji's palm. He Yenji did not say anything. He just looked at little Chi with red eyes. "I'll go get the medicine box." He Yenji still did not answer. He just used his left hand to suddenly hug little Chi into his arms. "Don't leave me. Xiaowan, I only have you." Little Chi knew that at this moment, He Yenji seemed to have been abandoned. He did not have any sense of security. No words of comfort could make him relax. Therefore little Chi just patted his back and said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'll be in your sight." Then little Chi went to get the medicine box. However, just as the two of them were bandaging, Jichu knocked on the door and said, "Brother He, sister-in-law, it's time. I'll be done soon." Little Chi quickly took out gauze and carefully bandaged He Yenji's wound. He Yenji looked at his palm that was wrapped in gauze and then at the back of his right hand. If Xiaowan had been here, he might not have left such an ugly scar. "Let's go." Little Chi stood up and said to He Yenji, "Don't let Grandma wait too long." The old lady's funeral ceremony was very simple. Other than He Yenji and the other two, the rest were He Yenji's subordinates. A group of people dressed in black and carrying white flowers sent the old lady into the mausoleum. A group of people dressed in black and carrying white flowers sent the old lady into the mausoleum. After the old lady's funeral, she stood behind He Yenji and accompanied him from afar. It was not until evening when the night rain suddenly fell that He Yenji turned around and left his grandmother's grave with little Chi in his arms. At least she got the answer she wanted. "Lil Wan, Grandma left without any worries, didn't she?" Little Chi leaned against He Yenji's chest, her face covered in cold and wet rain. "Of course. Let's go." With that, He Yenji walked out of the cemetery. Outside the door, Jichu was waiting by the car. When he saw the two of them come out, he quickly opened the door. "Brother He, are you going home?" "No, let's go to Ji's room, go to Ji's." "Xiao, Ji's little. He's she's ladies, Ji's, then, she. Li, soon, Li, be, they soon, and the they. Soon in they and they entered the hotel. Soon they all. So. Chi. By Chu after back she. He. Little Chi looked at He Yenji, who had silently entered the room, and nodded. "Go and rest." Ji Chu left obediently and little Chi closed the door. Chapter 1097. Inside the room, He Yenji didn't turn on the lights. He just sat on the sofa wet. Little Chi walked behind him and wanted to take off his coat for him, but He Yenji stopped her. "No need. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself." Little Chi's hand paused, then she said above his head, "He Yenji, I'm no longer who I used to be. I can do whatever I want. Do you still need to worry so much about us?" He Yenji didn't say anything. "This time, even if you die, your corpse will be mine." Little Chi whispered into He Yenji's ear and then continued what she was doing. This time He Yenji didn't stop her. Soon little Chi took off his black coat. The originally white shirt, because it was drenched, stuck tightly to He Yenji's body as if he wasn't wearing it. Little Chi looked at the scars through the shirt. Then she went around to He Yenji and squatted down. She unbuttoned his shirt one by one. At this moment, little Chi was no longer as shy as before. Instead, she was like a woman as she looked at He Yenji's gradually exposed chest. "Xiaowan, okay." Little Chi nodded calmly. "I want to kiss," He Yenji said as he stared into little Chi's eyes. Little Chi pinched his shirt and pecked his lips. "Is that okay?" "Not this kind. It's the kind with desire." As soon as He Yenji finished speaking, little Chi held his face and kissed him without hesitation. He Yenji's heart trembled. He immediately hugged little Chi's waist, but she pushed him away. "You want to infect me with the cold?" He Yenji was a little confused. He wasn't satisfied at all, so he couldn't help but want to kiss her again. However, little Chi blocked him with her palm. "Have you touched other women in the past 5 years?" He Yenji shook his head. "Haven't you had sex?" "I looked at your photo and solved it myself. Does that count?" He Yenji asked as he removed little Chi's palm. "You're a big shot." You didn't bring a woman with you? This time He Yenji didn't answer. Instead, he pulled little Chi onto his lap and said in a hoarse and sexy voice, "If it's not you, I don't want anyone." After hearing this, little Chi knew that part of his attention had been diverted because his bestial nature had returned. I said no. Little Chi refused righteously. I'm easily infected. Have you forgotten that I have an old illness? He Yenji hugged her and sniffed her neck. He nodded. I'm going to take a shower. Of course. Little Chi got up from his legs and nodded, looking like a housekeeper. He Yenji stood up and walked towards the bathroom. However, the moment he opened the door, he suddenly turned around and said to little Chi, "If you don't like me, I can handle it." "I don't dislike you," little Chi immediately replied. "But, have you killed anyone? Have you sold drugs before? Have you done anything illegal?" Faced with little Chi's 3 consecutive questions, He Yenji shook his head. "I haven't done a single dirty thing because I know that once I'm really involved, it'll be impossible for us to be together again." "Then why are you the boss?" "Because of this." He Yenji took out his fist. "I know what I'm doing. Go take a shower." Little Chi believed in him because He Yenji had a kind of cohesiveness that made people involuntarily submit to him wholeheartedly. Chapter 1098. Half an hour later, He Yenji returned to his room wrapped in a bath towel. At this time, little Chi also changed into her nightgown. "You sleep first. I'll go wash up." He Yenji nodded slightly. He couldn't bear to break the warm atmosphere at this moment, so he pulled away the blanket and lay on the bed. Little Chi went into the bathroom to freshen up. A moment later, she returned to the bedroom and naturally lay down beside He Yenji. At that moment, He Yenji had already fallen into a deep sleep. Because of the cold and the rain, he did not have the extra energy to wait for little Chi to come out of the bathroom. Little Chi lay on her side on the bed and looked at the man. Then she slowly pulled him into her arms. "Sleep well. When you wake up tomorrow, everything will be over." The next morning, the sun was shining brightly. He Yenji woke up from his bed and found that the room was empty. Little Chi was nowhere to be seen. He Yenji quickly got up to look for her, but when he opened the door, he saw Ji-Chu guarding the door. "Brother He, why are you so anxious? Are you looking for sister-in-law? Where is she?" He Yenji asked as he put on his coat. "I've already sent her to school," Ji-Chu replied with a smile. He Yenji looked up and realized that it was already 10 in the morning. It was fine as long as she didn't leave his side. He Yenji breathed a sigh of relief. "Brother Yang has called several times. There's something that needs you to deal with." Ji-Chu handed the phone to He Yenji. "Brother Nan, it's the opposite." When He Yenji heard this news, he didn't have much of an expression. If it weren't for Brother Nan's subordinates leaking his information, Auntie Hong and Grandma wouldn't have died. "Brother Yang wants you to deal with this matter properly and then take over all of Brother Nan's territories. I have my own plans for this matter." He Yenji took the phone and put it in his trouser pocket. "I'm going to see Brother Yang. Go and do something for me. Hang up the house in Lushan and deal with it." "Okay." Ji-Chu also didn't want He Yenji to keep reminiscing about the past. "Then tonight will you personally pick up sister-in-law?" He Yenji raised his head and looked at Ji-Chu coldly. His meaning was self-evident. He was meddling too much. Ji-Chu shrunk his neck and didn't dare to ask about his boss's private affairs anymore. It was noon at Jianchuan High School. Yan Zhen and Bian Qi were having lunch in the school canteen. Seeing that Xiao Xiao was distracted, Yan Zhen leaned on her arm and blinked at her. "Have you been with He Yenji for the past few days?" "Yes, I'll stay at his house," little Chi said bluntly. "Then you guys, what are you thinking? His grandmother is gone. Do you think he has the mind to think about anything else?" Little Chi rolled her eyes at Yan Zhen. "He's a gangster. What can he think?" Yan Zhen snorted. "So, you've completely forgiven him?" Little Chi didn't say anything because she was also asking herself in her heart. Was her anger gone just like that? A moment later, she decisively answered Yan Zhen, "It's gone." In this world, apart from life and death, everything else was trivial. He Yenji did not betray her, nor did he play with her. Since she could not let go of He Yenji, why should she hold on to the past? "You're too easy to talk to." Yan Zhen pouted. After all, little Chi had been in pain for 5 years. Although she had calmed down, it did not mean that she would not punish He Yenji. Little Chi thought so. She had plenty of ways to deliberately punish that bastard. Chapter 1099. At this moment, the business at Water Night was booming. Brother Yang had arranged to meet He Yenji at the nightclub. At this moment, the two of them were already sitting in the private room. Brother Yang, who dominated both the underworld and the underworld, naturally had women on his left and right. He had a cigar in his mouth just like a big shot. Your grandmother just passed away. I didn't want to disturb your rest, but Anan is really too unconscious. All these years I've been protecting him in the underworld and letting him live a good life. I didn't expect him to still have second thoughts. Yenji, tell me, how can a person's heart be so greedy? What do you want to do, Brother Yang? He Yenji sat down on the sofa. He directly bypassed Brother Yang's words. Brother Yang pointed at him with his cigar and smiled. You're still like this? It's impossible to talk to you. Anan had some grudges with you before. I know. This time I'll give you a chance to collect the debt. If you win, all his territories will belong to you. I'll vent my anger. Otherwise, people in the underworld will say that I can't even teach a subordinate well. Understood, He Yenji said succinctly. I'll give you news in 3 days. You're leaving just like that? I'm going to pick someone up. He Yenji stood up and answered. Brother Yang smiled meaningfully. Among the few subordinates around him, He Yenji was the only one with a bright future. On one hand he had the ability and on the other hand he knew how to change the background. However, Brother Yang also knew very well that this person was also the most dangerous person. Whether he was a sharp weapon or a stumbling block, it all depended on how the person who had him used it. At 6 o'clock in the afternoon, He Yenji was wearing a brown windbreaker and driving the Xing family's extended sedan. He was waiting for little Qi to finish class at the entrance of Jianchuan High School. Compared to his appearance a few days ago, He Yenji today actually made people feel more lonely and distressed. After all, his closest relative had passed away. It was rare for his face to be haggard. People kept coming in and out of the school, especially the girls. Naturally, their screams were endless. However, this did not include the old witch who used to be He Yenji's form teacher. She walked in front of He Yenji with a textbook in her hand. She pushed the glasses on the bridge of her nose and asked He Yenji, "Are you still receiving education?" "I'm just messing around," He Yenji replied lightly. "What a pity." After saying these 3 words, the old witch walked around the Xing family's car and left He Yenji's line of sight with her head held high. According to her, He Yenji was so smart. He really shouldn't be such a hooligan. No matter what line of work he chose, he could still be at the top. He Yenji didn't care at all, because he remembered who he was and what he was doing. That was enough. Soon little Qi and Yanzhen walked out of the school gate. This time Yanzhen leaned on little Qi's arm. "Do you have the heart to punish such a devilish appearance? See you later." Little Qi winked at her and walked to He Yenji's side. "Where are you going today?" "I'll send you back to the Sheng family." "Your parents are back," He Yenji said as he opened the car door. "I won't." Little Qi refused as she got into the car. "I want to continue staying in the hotel with you." "There's no need for that. You have the final say and I have the final say?" Little Qi asked. "He Yenji, your parents will ask about you. Moreover, it's against the rules for you to sleep with me." He Yenji closed the car door looking very mature. "Your rules are mine?" Little Qi asked again. "He Yenji, don't think that I'll let you off so easily. I haven't settled the score with you yet. Then I'll take you cross-country in the mountains first. Then we'll watch the stars on the mountain. We'll go back to the hotel in the middle of the night and let you do whatever you want. Are you satisfied with this arrangement?" He Yenji consciously offered the program menu. Chapter 1100. Thinking of the motorcycle that she had thrown away, little Qi shook her head. "I'm not going. I've already thrown the car away." He Yenji was speechless. He started the car and took little Qi to the place where the two of them used to date 5 years ago. The narrow path had now become a wide road. "The car is still there but the road is different," He Yenji said calmly. "It seems that I have to find another way to make my little wife happy. In that case, do me the honor of having dinner?" "Aren't you a big shot? Why are you asking me?" Little Qi looked like she was waiting to be dominated. He Yenji looked at little Qi from the rearview mirror and smiled silently. Then he brought her back to the hotel and into the parking lot. Unexpectedly, after getting out of the car, little Qi saw the motorcycle that she had thrown at the hotel a few days ago. "You saw me?" He Yenji curled the corners of his lips slightly and leaned against the front of the car. With a hint of self-deprecation he said, "If there's anything else in the hotel that attracts my attention, it's you. It's just that when you left, the car wasn't there anymore." My heart tightened. Because when you came, riding it made my heart beat violently. I searched the parking lot and found this little thing. Little Chi's actions at that time made him feel as if he had been on a roller coaster twice that day. Watching her ride the bike, he knew that she still had him in her heart. Seeing her abandon the car, he was terrified that she was about to give up on him. Fortunately, it was not too late. Since you care so much, why can't you hold back from looking for me? Little Chi turned her head and stared at He as she asked seriously. How do you know that I haven't looked for you? He asked naturally. Little Chi was stunned. Don't say anything else. Let's go up and eat. The hotel should be ready. He was afraid that Little Chi would feel burdened, so he deliberately looked at his watch and then stood up to hold her hand. However, Little Chi's attention was still on He words. She really wanted to know when he had appeared by her side. The two of them got into the elevator and soon arrived at the top floor of the hotel. Little Chi followed He into the hotel restaurant. At this time Ji-Chu came up to them. Brother He, sister-in-law. Go down and rest. Just keep an eye on what I told you, He said calmly. Understood. Looking at the entire restaurant, there were only He and Ming Chi. This should be the result of booking the entire restaurant. He was the first to pull out a chair at one end of the dining table. Then he reminded Little Chi, what happened? I don't like these fancy things. Little Chi suddenly said very seriously, He, there are too many mysteries about you that I can't understand. These things have always been intertwined in my heart. Do you think I'm in the mood to sit down and eat slowly with you? You have to know that if you don't plan to be completely honest with me, then no matter what we do, my mind will only be filled with the pain of your disappearance. We are separated by hearts. Other than being careful and sensitive, there is nothing else. I'm already past the age where a little girl needs to be coaxed, boss He. You should think about it carefully first. He pursed his lips. His expression was a little complicated, mixed with a trace of sadness. He didn't know that Little Chi had matured to this extent. We have to eat first, right? If it's this, I'd rather eat a bowl of noodles on the street. After saying that, Little Chi turned around and left. He smiled helplessly and followed closely behind. Chapter 11:01. Little Chi's footsteps were very fast. She didn't stop no matter how much she was shouted at. He immediately became domineering. He directly went forward and hugged her by the waist. Then he used his fastest speed to return to the hotel room. Little Chi struggled in his arms, but He threw her on the bed. Don't move. Let go of me. The two of them spoke at the same time, their noses touching. Even when they had slept in the same bed 2 nights ago, the two of them had never been so close. I'm not telling you not because I don't want to. I just don't know where to start. Also, I just want to use my actions to tell you what I really think. Little one, isn't it more reliable to do it than to say it? In such an ambiguous position, he was still talking about doing it or not. Little Chi immediately let her imagination run wild. Get out of the way first. He admired Little Chi's feminine side and suddenly smiled. Are you shy? How can you not blush when you're being pressed down like this? I shouldn't be if I'm being pressed down by you. He moved his body away from her. However, halfway through, he used his hand to hold Little Chi's softness. You're developing well. He. Little Chi instantly exploded. This time He laughed out loud. Then he sat on the bed and pulled Little Chi into his arms. You'll be mine sooner or later. Why are you so angry? Little Chi leaned against that hard chest and couldn't break free no matter how hard she tried. She had clearly trained in combat skills over the years, but she didn't have much of an advantage over He. I'll slowly tell you what happened after I left Jianchuan because it's too long and too torturous. However, for the past 5 years, I've thought of a way to visit you at the school gate every 3 months, but you've never seen me. Little Chi immediately deflated and hugged He instead. What if I like someone else? Quietly, solve it, He answered directly, but there was a hint of sharpness in his words. I mean, I've changed my mind. Little Chi reiterated the main point of her question. Then I'll lock you up. No matter how many years it takes, I want you to fall in love with me again. After He said that, he stroked Little Chi's head a few times. Alright, aren't you hungry? I ordered 2 bowls of noodles. I'm going to clean up and change my clothes. You said my parents are back? Little Chi suddenly asked as she watched He get up. Yes. He took off his windbreaker and nodded. How did you convince my dad to be so biased towards you? Could it be that he favors men over women? Little Chi was puzzled. Didn't other fathers-in-law make things difficult for their son-in-law? Don't doubt your father's concern for you. That's because he knows very well that I'm the only one you really want. Hiyenji smiled confidently at little Chi. Then when will you officially visit my family? Little Chi got out of bed and followed behind Hiyenji. I want to ask you first. Does your family mind being a gangster? Little Chi, if your family mind, what do you plan to do? Hiyenji looked at little Chi with interest and asked. Whether they agree or not, I'll definitely follow a fierce big boss like you. My family has all kinds of jobs, but there's no gangster gang. Hiyenji, little Chi knew that she had won the round and smiled sweetly. However, it was her smile that Hiyenji suddenly held her cheek and kissed her fiercely. I'll let you be proud. Chapter 11:02. Little Chi's face and ears were flushed from the kiss. She finally pushed the culprit a few steps away. Don't kiss me after smoking. Hiyenji grabbed her arm and pulled her closer to him. He looked at her intently. Do you know how dangerous you are now? Hiyenji. Without my parents' consent, don't even think about having any physical relationship with you. After Hiyenji heard this, he turned his head and shook his shoulders. He laughed in a low voice. Shawan, so I didn't know that you had already thought so far ahead? Little Chi was speechless. Hiyenji saw that she was speechless, so he sat on the sofa and pulled little Chi onto his legs. But you owe me a lot of kisses. According to what you said, you can kiss once a day from the age of 16. Think about it yourself, how many times do you owe me? Little Chi leaned against Hiyenji's chest and smelled the smell of the cigar on his body. She was a little unconvinced. That's what you missed. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't smoke. I was just talking to Brother Young in the afternoon. He stuffed a cigar into my mouth but I didn't light it. I didn't expect you to be so sensitive to the smell, Hiyenji explained calmly as he hugged her. Little Chi's heart was pounding. This was because their posture was too ambiguous. However, even though she knew that this couldn't go on, she still couldn't bear to leave Hiyenji's arms. She didn't know if it was because of their tacit understanding, but the atmosphere between the two of them became more and more ambiguous. Especially when their gazes met, their lips unknowingly pressed together again. This time it was gentle and lingering. It was long and soft, allowing little Chi to experience what a real kiss was. The two of them sucked up all the oxygen in each other's chests. When little Chi couldn't breathe, Hiyenji reluctantly let her go. I can't continue, huh? I'm afraid I can't help it. Little Chi placed her head on Hiyenji's shoulder, and the two of them hugged each other calmly and warmly. How many years had it been? Today the scene that she had dreamed of could finally be realized in reality. Little Chi couldn't wait to walk into Hiyenji's life and soul. This time she wouldn't allow him to escape again. And the best way to tie Hiyenji up was responsibility. The two of them cuddled in the room for a long time, but this beautiful scene was quickly broken by Jichu's knocking on the door. Brother something happened. Hiyenji and Midnight looked at the door at the same time. Then little Chi got up from Hiyenji's lap. Go. Hiyenji got up from the sofa and caressed little Chi's head. Wash up and sleep first. I'll be back later. Will he come back? Little Chi asked carefully. Of course. Hiyenji's expression was firm. This time I won't leave your side even if I die. Little Chi nodded and pointed at the door with her chin. Go. Hiyenji picked up his coat again and quickly walked out the door. Little Chi watched the two of them disappear and could only adapt to the sudden silence in the room as soon as possible. How could she miss a certain someone after being apart for only a second? Little Chi sat down on the sofa. However, before she could think about anything else, Master Xiao called. Little Chi suddenly felt embarrassed as if she had been caught in the act. She had clearly agreed to go home at night. However, she still picked up the phone and said in a coquettish tone, Dad. Chapter 11:03. What? Do you still see me as your father? Master Zhao's tone was unclear. It was obvious that he was quite dissatisfied with Hiyenji not sending little Chi home. I'll be back later. I'll be back tonight. Little Chi scratched her head and her rationality began to return. What time? 10 o'clock? 12 o'clock? Or 5 o'clock in the morning? Master Zhao's tone rose slightly. It's not like that, Dad. Hiyenji went out to do something. I'm staying in the hotel alone. I just want him to see me when he comes back. Now that he's alone, I don't want him to lose his sense of security, Little Chi answered sincerely. If you don't believe me, you can send Uncle Su over to watch me. Your Uncle Su also has his own things to do. Master Zhao's tone softened. In terms of feelings, Little Chi had combined his and Mu Chichi's temperament. Master Xiao could understand this. Dad, before 2 o'clock. I'll leave the lights on for you. This was already Master Zhao's biggest concession. After all, he knew that He Yanji had lost his grandmother. Got it, Dad. You're the best. After obtaining Master Zhao's understanding, little Qi was relieved. She did not know what He Yanji was doing at the moment. Was he really fighting on the streets like in the movies? At that moment, He Yanji was rushing to the dock of Jianchuan. We captured Brother Nan's right-hand man and forced him to the dock. However, Brother Nan asked to see you. Otherwise, he would detonate the homemade bomb on his body to lure the police out. He came prepared. So, as long as he sees me, he'll be willing to surrender? He Yanji's gaze was cold and even a trace of impatience. Where is he now? On the broken boat. He Yanji got out of the car and straightened his windbreaker. His expression was dignified and sharp, and he had the air of a big shot. Brother He, his subordinates bowed and made way for this ruthless character. Unlike in front of little Qi, He Yanji had quite a bit of prestige in the underworld. He never took people's lives, but he would definitely make them suffer a fate worse than death. Everyone knew that the person who had offended him had been chased by him for a year or two. In the end, because he couldn't stand He Yanji's revenge, he went to the police station and surrendered himself, admitting that he had killed someone back then. Brother he's on the boat, but it's very dangerous. He Yanji waved his hand and motioned for everyone to leave. We've known each other for a while. Since he wants to see me, I'll let him see me. But his subordinates were worried about his safety. Ji Chu hurriedly stopped his little brother. This kind of matter, Brother He naturally knew what to do. He Yanji was wearing shiny brown leather shoes. Unlike the slovenly image of the other big shots who were nouveau riche, he would clean himself up every day. He was meticulous, and his taste in clothes was completely like an English gentleman. He Yanji walked onto the broken ship and saw Brother Nan sitting in the cabin. His eyes were filled with fear. Don't come over or I'll light it up. Brother Nan held a lighter and revealed the explosives tied to his waist to threaten He Yanji. He Yanji did not go any further. He just squatted on the deck and looked at Brother Nan. Do you know what happened to the people who asked to see me in the past few years? Brother Nan's throat rolled and he was sweating profusely. Yanji, back then I was kind to you. Why did you repay my kindness with enmity? A favor? Yanji snorted. Chapter 1104. What a huge favor. You killed 2 of my family members in a row. You can't blame this on me. I didn't know that I would be betrayed, Brother Nan quickly explained. I didn't know anything about what happened back then. I didn't know that the other party would take such extreme revenge on you. Your subordinates have already told me everything. He Yanji smiled coldly. The other party asked for peace and gave you 10 territories, but you sold me out. Isn't that the case? Brother Nan's face turned pale, and his hands began to tremble. Can't you let me go? Let you go? He Yanji seemed to have lost his patience and stood up. You really disappoint me. I thought that since you betrayed Brother Yang and wanted to set up your own business, you wouldn't be so weak. I didn't expect you to be so easily frightened. All right, I've seen your ugly face. If you want to light a fire, then light it. Or should I ask my subordinates to help you? Anyway, this is the dock and it's a broken boat. Even if it catches fire, no one will think that there are people on it. After saying that, He Yanji turned around and jumped onto the shore. He Yanji, what I am today will be your tomorrow in the future. This was Brother Nan's last advice to He Yanji. I'll never be able to be like you. After saying that, He Yanji walked up to his subordinates and instructed, Old rules. Don't kill anyone. Punish them as you should. From then on, Auntie Hong and the old lady's grudge could be considered to have been avenged. As for his future path, he knew what kind of choice he was making. He would not go wrong nor would he go astray. Brother He, you've worked hard. Go back and rest. Count the number of territories in this bastard's hands and show them to Brother Yang. Before He Yanji got into the car, he instructed Ji Chu, I don't like these things. It's useless to keep them. Got it? Ji Chu nodded. Soon, the originally calm sea erupted into flames. He Yanji glanced at it indifferently. He had absolute trust in his subordinates. When he returned to the hotel, it was almost 10 o'clock at night. He Yanji looked at his wristwatch and frowned slightly. He didn't know if the little girl was asleep. Thinking of this, He Yanji was eager to return. The moment he opened the door, he was even a little surprised because the lights in the room were still on. She was waiting for him. You're back? Little Qi got up from the sofa. Yeah, why aren't you sleeping yet? He Yanji took off his coat and hung it at the side. Moreover, looking at little Chi's appearance, she hadn't washed up yet. My dad called and asked me to go home. Since you're back safely now, send me home. Little Chi raised the phone in her hand and said. Yenji was stunned for a moment. He suddenly understood little Chi's intention. She always waited for him to come back before leaving because she didn't want him to feel lonely in the room. Little Chi. She. Little. Little. He. Yang. Little Chi hugged him back and thought for a few seconds. Then she asked, why don't we say that you're injured and I want to take care of you? Then do I have to hang my arm up tomorrow? Yenji was finally amused and let go of little Chi. Now is not the time. Wait for me, to come back and let you stay by my side for the night. Chapter 11:05. At 11 o'clock at night, little Chi stepped into the house. However, she closed the door carefully, looking a little guilty. Sheng Xiao was serving Mu Qiqi, who had gone to the police station after returning to China. The couple sat at the dining table and turned to look at their daughter with a meaningful look in their eyes. You still know to come back. Sheng Xiao snorted faintly. Then he looked at his pocket watch and realized that it was still early, so he didn't say anything else. Mu Qiqi didn't reprimand little Chi. She just smiled as she ate. You're like me back then. If you weren't like you back then, I would have thrown you out long ago. Little Chi was speechless. Why don't you try? Mu Qiqi frowned and contradicted Sheng Xiao. Do you think it's easy for you to get a daughter when you're old? Little Chi secretly laughed and then quietly went back to her room. It was useless to be envious because it was her parents' love, and her bond was in the hotel at the moment. She didn't know when she would be able to stay by Yenji's side. The next day little Chi woke up to go to school. Unexpectedly, Tang Xiaobao came to the banyan courtyard to see her. You have to go to school too, right? Why are you at my house so early in the morning? Little Chi couldn't help but ask when she saw his serious expression. Let's talk on the way. Tang Xiaobao stuffed the milk into little Chi's arms and directly dragged her out. Tang Xiaobao, I know Yenji is back. Tang Xiaobao paused and suddenly said, I also know that he's in the underworld now. Girl, you know that I hate criminals the most in my life. Do you still want to be involved with him? Little Chi stopped in her tracks and suddenly couldn't say anything. 5 years ago this bastard hurt you once. Do you still want to bump into him now? Tang Xiaobao looked little Chi in the eyes and asked. He had also become handsome. He had inherited his father's style. He was tough, sunny, and full of righteousness. He was really popular with girls. Xiaobao, although I don't know what to say, Yenji and I are different from what you think. He's not the kind of person you think he is, Little Chi explained calmly. Little Chi explained calmly, I know that Uncle Tang is the chief of the police station. You've been influenced by him since you were young, so it's impossible for you to take him seriously. However, he's the person I like. As long as I believe that he didn't do anything wrong, I don't care who he is. After hearing Little Chi's words, Tang Xiaobao let go of her right hand because he suddenly felt that the little girl in front of him was so unfamiliar. He didn't know when it started, but the two of them had a conflict in their worldview. Tang Xiaobao would never be with a gang member, but Little Chi told him that she didn't care at all. Where is Uncle Xiao? Doesn't he care? My father naturally wants me to be happy. Crazy, are you all crazy? Tang Xiaobao suddenly became agitated. What are you all thinking? What was Uncle Xiao thinking? Is he trying to push you into the fire pit? When Little Chi saw Tang Xiaobao's expression, she wanted to try to make him understand. However, when the words were on the tip of her tongue, she felt that it was unnecessary because everyone had their own position. Tang Xiaobao's heart was very conflicted and uncomfortable because he didn't know how to face his sister walking on the crooked path. Therefore, he held Little Chi's shoulder and persuaded her earnestly, Little Chi, I really don't want to see you jump into the fire pit. Don't fall for it anymore, okay? We can still find a better one. Chapter 11:06. It seems that you haven't had enough of that fight back then. A male voice suddenly came from behind the two of them. Little Chi turned around and saw Yenji pulling her to his side, his entire body full of possessiveness. Didn't you disappear 5 years ago? Why are you still pestering my sister? When Tang Xiaobao saw Yenji, his eyes were spitting fire and he was furious. Don't you know that you're a hooligan? Do you still want to jump over the dragon gate? Get in the car first. Yenji didn't want to make things difficult for Little Chi, so he pushed Little Chi to Ji Chu. Although Little Chi was worried, it was indeed not appropriate for her to stay for long because it would only add fuel to the fire. Therefore she followed Ji-Chu into the car. Outside the car, the atmosphere between the two men seemed to be at loggerheads. Let's find another time to fight. You like it anyway. He Yanji handed the contact information to Tang Xiaobao. Okay, I'll wait for you. Tang Xiaobao accepted He Yanji's letter of challenge and turned to look at little Qi before turning to leave. He Yanji smiled faintly. He didn't take Tang Xiaobao's anger to heart because he knew very well that this man surnamed Tang only wanted to protect Lil Wan. Then, He Yanji returned to the car and handed another breakfast to little Qi. I'll send you to school. Don't tell me the two of you are going to fight again? Little Qi reached out to take the breakfast and felt a headache. Women shouldn't ask about the private matters between men. He Yanji didn't intend to answer this question and let Ji-Chu set off because he still had a few important matters to deal with. Little Qi looked at the two breakfasts in her arms and shook her head. Forget it. Anyway, this person knew his limits, so she didn't need to worry about it. However, there were some things that she still needed to express. You also know that the Tang family has been police officers for generations. The most difficult thing to hide is their righteousness. Tang Xiaobao is also worried about me. If you really have any conflict, don't go too far, okay? Aren't you worried that the one being beaten up will be me? He Yanji opened the milk for little Qi and inserted the straw. I'm not worried. In my heart, you're the winner. Little Qi answered matter-of-factly. He Yanji felt very comfortable, so he put his arm around her shoulder and pulled her into his arms. By the way, other than your parents, who else do you want to get approval from? Little Qi squinted slightly and asked He Yanji, anyone? I will try my best to satisfy you. You're just a gangster. What are you talking about? It's not that important. It's fine as long as I like you, Little Qi answered He Yanji straightforwardly and domineeringly. He Yanji chuckled and stroked Little Qi's hair. This little girl's boyfriend was too easy to be. Soon the two of them arrived at the school gate. However, before little Qi could get out of the car, He Yanji reached out and grabbed her. After school in the afternoon, don't run around. I'll pick you up. Word. Go back to the hotel and do your homework, He Yanji said with a hidden meaning. Little Qi glanced at him and snorted. But for some reason she actually looked forward to that moment. Because she wanted to kiss He Yanji in all kinds of positions in all kinds of places. Just thinking about that scene would make one blush. Don't go astray. It's just limited to kissing. She was an obedient, decent girl. Chapter 1107. On the other side, after Tang Xiaobao returned to school, he couldn't really trust little Qi. Especially when he looked at He Yanji's business card. What kind of future could he have with such a gang member? Therefore after class Tang Xiaobao called his father. Dad, there's something I want to ask of you. Tang Yen was now the chief of the bureau, so he was naturally strict with his son. In his impression, Tang Xiaobao had never asked for his father's help, so he couldn't find a reason to refuse. Go ahead. Can you do a good investigation on He Yanji? He's a gangster, but he has a close relationship with little Qi. I don't want little Qi to regret it after being hurt. If this person has committed a crime, you must tell me immediately. He Yanji? Hearing these three words, Tang Yen was interested. He doesn't have a criminal record, but he has performed meritorious deeds. How is that possible? Tang Xiaobao scoffed on the other side of the phone. It's nothing. I'll keep an eye out. Tang Yen stopped the topic and comforted his son. Tang Xiaobao didn't notice anything else, so he simply hung up. However, on the other end of the phone, Tang Yan's eyes were deep and hidden. He Yanji was an interesting person. The younger generation would surpass the older. Speaking of little Qi, it was a critical moment for the college entrance examination. However, as the daughter of the richest man in Jianchuan, it seemed that little Qi didn't need to worry about the future. When Yanjin saw this, she was very envious. How good would it be if I were you? No matter how many points you score in the exam, your family has a gold mine. Speaking of which, do you really not have any job in particular that you want to do? I want to be a big shots woman, little Qi answered with a book in her hand. Screw you. You're already one now. I'm asking a serious question. Yanjin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She leaned on little Qi's arm. Think about it carefully. Otherwise, what's the point of living? After hearing Yanjin's words, little Qi thought about it seriously for a moment and then fell into deep thought. There are only 2 months left before the college entrance examination. It seems that it's too late. Little Qi thought about it carefully. Ever since she was born, she had never had any ambitions. She didn't have her mother's dedication, nor did she have her father's extreme intelligence. What was she living for? Little Qi thought about it all afternoon, but there was no answer until she saw He Yenji at the school gate. He Yenji opened the car door and saw that she was absent-minded, so he waited until she got in the car before asking, "What are you thinking about? You're so engrossed." "I'm going to take the college entrance examination soon, but I don't know what to do in the future." Little Chi replied in distress, "I seem to be very ordinary and can't do anything big." After He Yenji heard this, he understood. It turned out that his little girl was distressed because of this. "Lil Wan, actually, you are the cleverest and smartest girl I've ever met. Since you don't know what you like, then, let me set a goal for you. How about that? Didn't you regret leaving school?" Little Chi was afraid that He Yenji would be sensitive when she mentioned this question. "Regret is the most useless thing. Why do you regret it?" He Yenji answered without thinking. The smile on his lips was endless. "Go to Xingting. Didn't your parents come from there? You really think highly of me?" Little Chi couldn't help but laugh. "I'll teach you. Don't forget, I once tutored you in your homework," He Yenji said solemnly. Chapter 1108. You. It wasn't that Little Chi didn't believe him, but he hadn't been to school for 5 years. He was afraid that he had forgotten the contents of the textbook. He Yenji smiled mysteriously and didn't explain. He brought Little Chi back to the hotel. "Ji Chu, knock on the door again at dinner time," He Yenji instructed Ji Chu when he led Little Chi into the room. Ji Chu nodded and winked at He Yenji. "Brother He, don't worry. Just enjoy the two of you." Not only that, but Ji Chu also consciously closed the door for the two of them. After entering the room, He Yenji directly placed Little Chi's school bag on the sofa. Then he pulled her to sit on his lap and put her arms around his neck. "Did you miss me?" Little Chi's heart immediately raced, and her face immediately flushed red. However, she didn't hide her feelings and replied, "Yes." He Yenji was very satisfied with her answer. He directly pinched her chin and kissed her gently. It was this kind of feeling, this kind of soft feeling, that made Little Chi worry about it for the whole day. Unknowingly, the two of them had fallen in love, and the kiss became more and more intense. At this moment in the huge room, there was only the sound of the two of them sucking each other. After a long while, He Yenji finally let go of Little Chi. "I really want to eat you now." Little Chi hugged He Yenji tightly and was trying her best to calm down her distracting thoughts. However, after a while she felt that she had failed, so she whispered in He Yenji's ear, "I will want to eat you too." He Yenji was stunned. He coughed lightly and quickly said to Little Chi, "Do your homework. You have the heart but you don't have the guts." Little Chi got up from his body and couldn't help but mutter. He Yenji was a little helpless. "It's precisely because it's you that I don't want to be casual." Little Chi knew that he was doing this for the future, so she picked up her school bag and sat down by the coffee table. "Come here. Aren't you going to teach?" He Yenji stood up and sat down behind Little Chi. He wrapped his arms around her. "Are you still partial to subjects now?" "I'm not partial anymore. In the few years that you were gone, I wrote love letters to many boys, so I practiced it." Little Chi snorted. "That's really a good idea. Are you sure it's a few boys? Why didn't you write it in your diary?" He Yenji saw through her at a glance. Little Chi turned her head and looked at the man behind her. She was a little awkward. "Why did you have to expose me?" He Yenji laughed silently and kissed the back of Little Chi's head. "It seems like we've returned to that time." Little Chi thought he was joking, so she really handed the math problem that she didn't understand to He Yenji. "Can you solve it?" He Yenji took the textbook and glanced at it. Then he picked up the pen and pressed it against Little Chi's face. "Watch carefully. I'll only solve it once." Little Chi saw him take out the draft paper to calculate and was shocked. Could it be that this person was really a genius? A moment later, the solution appeared on the draft paper, and the answer was on the verge of appearing. "You're a gangster, how do you know how to do mathematics?" "What? Can a hooligan not be cultured?" He Yenji smiled as he held her hand and returned the pen to her. "Even if it's for you, I will never let myself fall." Little Chi's heart trembled. "I can't let the gap between me and you be too big." He Yenji's words sounded casual, but no one knew what kind of hard work he had put in behind the scenes. Little Chi couldn't help but lean into He Yenji's arms. She was full of skills when it came to romantic words. "It's okay, I don't mind. Anyway, in the future I'll follow you." Chapter 1109. Big Boss. He rubbed Little Chi's head, his eyes full of smiles. "Don't worry, I won't let you lose the bet." Next, it was really homework tutoring. Little Chi looked at He Yanji with a hint of admiration in her eyes. What you say is easier to understand than what the teacher says. You're comparing me to the old witch? He Yanji pinched Little Chi's face. What she says is aimed at the whole class. What I say is only aimed at you. Of course it's different. In the past, she had never thought that studying was such an interesting thing. However, in the few years that He Yanji was not around, her exam results depended on her mood. But most of the time she stayed in the top 3. Now that she had Mr. He by her side to tutor her, not only was it exclusive, but she could also kiss, hug, and take advantage of him. For the past 2 months, she had to have He Yanji tutor her every day. However, good times always passed quickly. Because it was time for dinner, Little Chi stayed at the hotel. After accompanying He Yanji for dinner, he sent her back to the Banyan courtyard. However, this time there was something special. This was because after Little Chi got out of the car, she took the initiative to hug Boss He and tiptoed to kiss him on the cheek. This should have been a very ordinary scene, but it was seen by Mama Sheng, who had just returned home. 1-1. Mama Sheng got out of the black car and called out to Little Chi uncertainly. Little Chi turned around and saw her grandmother. She immediately stiffened and could not help but feel a little guilty. Grandma, Mama Sheng walked up to the two of them and looked at He Yanji, who was behind Little Chi. This is? Hello Grandma. I'm Xiaowan's boyfriend He Yanji. He Yanji politely reached out his hand and bowed slightly to show his respect. Just like when he was bumped into by Master Xiao, He Yanji was calm and did not hide. Boyfriend? Mama Sheng's expression was a little unclear because she had never thought that Little Chi, who was only 17 years old, would be like her mother back then. Since we've met, let's go home and have a seat. Mama Sheng directly invited He Yanji because she also wanted to know if her son and daughter-in-law knew about this. After Little Chi heard this, her heart pounded. She turned to look at He Yanji, but he looked calm. Then I'll have to trouble you. Hearing these words, Mama Sheng's expression softened a little because she knew that this boy was at least not a coward. Grandma. Little Chi panicked and said to Mama Sheng, "It's too late today. Can't we do it another day?" She didn't object and you're already protecting her? Mama Sheng snorted softly. Then she beckoned the two of them. Get in my car. Little Chi was helpless. She turned to look at He Yanji. He Yanji of He Little Chi. He smiled lovingly. From the beginning to the Sheng He of Chi T. After getting into the car, Mama Sheng looked at the boy in the back seat again. To be honest, she did not believe that her son did not know about this person. But what was his plan? However, S of T B Li Chi T, T of Chin T. Don't worry. Watch me. Don't worry, okay? He Yanji squeezed Little Chi's palm to comfort her. Don't worry. Just watch me. Don't worry, okay? He Yanji pinched Little Chi's palm to comfort her. Chapter 11:10. Soon they entered the house. He Yanji took a deep breath. It was impossible for him not to be nervous. After all, the Sheng family was not an ordinary family. However, since it was his first time visiting, he could not panic and disappoint Lil Wan's family. Therefore, even if he had to brace himself, he had to suppress the panic in his heart. Please come in. At that moment, Xing Xiao was at home. After taking a shower, he was dressed in home clothes that wrapped around his muscular body. It was impossible to tell his age at all. He saw that Xing Xiao was in the living room on a video call. When he realized that Mama Sheng had let someone in, he was interested and told Su Che to postpone the video call. Dad. Little Chi held He Yanji's hand and walked nervously to Xing Xiao. She called out timidly. Uncle. He Yanji was extremely calm and respectful towards Xing Xiao. Mama Sheng stood at the side and carefully observed He Yanji. This was because when ordinary people saw their son, especially when Xing Xiao was unsmiling, his expression was not angry, but it gave people a strong sense of oppression. Ordinary people would naturally be afraid and retreat when they saw him. However, this kid in front of her did not show any signs of fear. What kind of background did he have? Have you eaten? Xing Xiao turned off the computer and asked the two of them. His tone was calm as if he was not surprised at all. Eat it? Little Chi quickly replied. He tutored me with my homework. As a thank you gift, I accompanied him for dinner. There's no need to be reserved in front of me. I won't ask you to do anything. Master Xiao looked like a reasonable and kind father. He could even be said to be gentle and easygoing. However, only He Yanji knew that there was still a second half hidden in Master Zhao's heart. That was, as long as he made a mistake, did not cherish the opportunity to be with Little Chi, or let Little Chi suffer any harm, Master Xiao would record it for him. Eighth brother, what's going on? Mama Sheng couldn't stand it anymore. She sat on the sofa and asked. It didn't look like they were meeting for the first time. You guys go up and play. Xing Xiao asked Miki to show He Yanji around. His intention was to send the two of them away so that they would not be embarrassed. Let's go to my room. Little Qi couldn't wait. After saying that, she held He Yanji's hand and hurried upstairs. Eighth brother, this child, is Wanwan's classmate? Where did he come from? How could you allow them to be together? Wanwan is only 17 years old. Mom, I tacitly agreed to this. I know what I'm doing, Xing Xiao answered Mama Xing seriously. You don't believe in my judgment? So, you know He Yanji very well? Mama Sheng's expression softened a little. If I don't let your granddaughter worry about me for 5 years, she will do even more outrageous things in the future. Then what does his family do? Mama Sheng continued to ask, afraid that little Qi would lead the child astray. Xing Xiao did not hide anything and told Mama Xing everything about He Yanji's family background. After Mama Xing heard this, she both sympathized with He Yanji and felt that he was in danger. Are you really at ease to join the underworld at such a young age? Won't we know if we keep walking? Xing Xiao still had a carefree attitude because he knew very well that if little Qi didn't really like He Yanji, then the two of them would separate on their own before long. Life and feelings needed to be felt and experienced by the people involved. Bystanders, even parents, did not have the right to interfere. Back then, I thought that when Wanwan reached the age of dating, you would definitely strongly oppose and stop her. Once you found out that there was such a daring boy, you would definitely make him disappear from the face of the earth. Chapter 11:11. He Yanji naturally couldn't pretend that he didn't hear it. Therefore, he immediately replied with a troubled expression. Brother Long, don't make fun of me. You have so many capable subordinates under you. Why would you need someone like me who has no ambition and just eats and drinks? You don't know how to appreciate favors. Brother Long's subordinate immediately became angry. He looked at He Yanji aggressively and scolded, since our boss is looking for you, it means that he thinks highly of you. How dare you not know what's good for you? He Yanji looked at him with a smile. He was not angry at all. Please forgive me, Brother Long. It's fine, but don't jump to conclusions too early. Who knows, one day you might be willing to look for Brother Long. Brother Long took a deep puff of his cigar and pinched the woman beside him. I always believed that in this world, the winner is king. I heard that you have a little girlfriend? Before I answer this question, let me ask you something first. Have you heard of Xing Xiao? Who doesn't know Xing Xiao? Brother Long answered matter-of-factly, as if He Yanji had asked an extremely ridiculous question. My girlfriend is Xing Xiao's daughter. If she offends you in the future, I hope you can forgive her. He Yanji gave Brother Long a warning in advance. He wasn't trying to show off, but to remind him that some people could be touched and some people couldn't. After Brother Long heard this, there was an obvious change in his expression. He had indeed wanted to start with He Yanji's girlfriend at the beginning, but it seemed that it wouldn't work now. Not only that, but it had become even more complicated for him to rope He Yanji in. Brother Long, this kid dares to look down on you because he's bold? Brother Long's subordinate was a little unconvinced. What kind of amazing person was he? Why couldn't he touch him? At that moment, the voice of Brother Long's subordinate came from outside the private room. Brother Long, Brother Yang is here. So fast? Brother Long looked at He Yanji with interest. It seems that I really can't underestimate your loyalty. He Yanji couldn't deny it. Soon, the familiar laughter reached their ears. Then the door of the private room was pushed open. He Yanji turned around and saw his boss. He quickly stood up to welcome him. Brother Yang. If I had come a little later, would my left arm have been chopped off by someone? Brother Yang waved his hand and sat down next to He Yanji. Long Xiao, it's not nice of you to do this, right? Old Westerner, your man is indeed extraordinary. I asked him to help me, but he rejected me. Brother Dragon laughed. I'm so jealous of you. You don't have to be envious. This is my brother who has gone through life and death with me. Naturally, he can't be with you. Today I will make it clear. Don't have any ideas about Yanji. I will fight you to the death. The two of them made their attitudes clear in their jokes. For a moment, the atmosphere in the private room was surging. Then it was Brother Dragon who nodded and admitted defeat. All right, I'll remember what you said. That person. I'll take him with me. I really hope you can always trust him like this. Before the two of them left, Brother Long wanted to plant a bomb between them. However, the two of them did not respond. Brother Yang, I trust you. Brother Yang patted He Yanji on the shoulder. I trust you more than you think. Go back and rest. Chapter 11-12. After He Yanji sent Brother Yang away, he got into his car. Inside the car, Ji-Chu was already ready to go out. Brother He, this Brother Long isn't as scary as I imagined? He Yanji glanced at Ji-Chu from the rearview mirror and said, Do you believe it? Tonight you're their target. What? Because I've made it clear that your sister-in-law is the daughter of the Sheng family. That Long guy won't dare to do anything to your sister-in-law, and you're the only one left by my side. How safe do you think you'll be? He Yanji explained to Ji-Chu very seriously. Sleep in my room tonight. Is it really necessary? You can install a camera in your room to see. He Yanji answered him with a serious expression. All these years, Jianchuan has been suppressed by Zhongting, so all the gangs didn't dare to go overboard. Over time they retreated from the banditry that gangs should have. Even Brother Yang rarely got involved in things that risked his life. But this Brother Long is different. This Brother Long has killed people before. Hearing the word people, Ji-Chu was stunned for a moment. He obviously understood the seriousness of the matter. However, the two of them did not expect that when they rushed back to the hotel, He Yanji would find that their room had been carefully decorated. The room was lit with incense and candles, and there were roses everywhere on the table and bed. There was also an exquisite cake on the coffee table. Brother He. This? While the two of them were surprised, little Chi walked out of the bedroom wearing He Yanji's shirt. He Yanji's face turned green, and Ji-Chu immediately turned his head. This was his sister-in-law. He didn't dare to blaspheme her. Seeing this, He Yanji quickly pushed little Chi back into the bedroom. Why are you here? I just wanted to give you a surprise. It seems like you were frightened, right? Little Chi quickly wrapped her clothes around herself. He Yanji couldn't help but hold little Chi in his arms. He could have enjoyed the two of them tonight, but now he had to ensure Ji-Chu's safety. So, before little Chi took off her shirt, he covered little Chi's head and kissed her on the head. I'm sorry, Xiaowan. I might not be able to have a romantic night tonight because I have to bring a third wheel. What's going on? Little Chi took off the shirt and asked. Ji-Chu might be in danger, so I let him sleep in the guest room. That's easy. Just chase him back to his room, little Chi said bluntly. Tonight? Alright, I got it. You're not in the mood for romance. Little Chi could tell from his eyes that since Ji-Chu was in danger, he naturally wouldn't stand by and do nothing. You sleep first. I'll be in the living room, okay? He Yanji held little Chi's face and kissed her. Will you go back to your room? It depends. I'll guard you guys. After He Yanji said that, he patted little Chi's face again, turned around and walked out of the bedroom. Ji-Chu was outside the door. When he saw everything that little Chi had set up, he felt guilty and said to He Yanji, Brother He, why don't I go back to my room? Sister-in-law spent a lot of effort to decorate it, it's not good to ruin it. He Yanji took off his coat and placed it on the sand. He only instructed Ji-Chu, go in and sleep. You have no right to ask about anything else. Alright? Ji-Chu felt as if he had destroyed He Yanji's wedding night. He felt very guilty. However, he didn't dare to disobey He Yanji's orders, so he could only enter the guest room with a guilty conscience. When He Yanji saw this, he went out alone and went to the next room to make some arrangements. Then he returned to the living room and lay down on the sand. He also wanted to have a woman in his arms, but he also had to protect his own people. This was a man's responsibility. Chapter 11-13. However, some people were destined to be dishonest, especially in the middle of the night. She went straight out of the bedroom and quietly squatted beside He Yanji. In the darkness, He Yanji was very vigilant. He felt a black shadow in front of him, so he got up and pressed the other party to the sand. Little Chi quickly patted the sand in pain. It's me. After He Yanji heard this, he let go of his hand, but he still pressed down on Little Chi. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night? You're right outside. How can I sleep inside? Little Chi lay on the sand and let He Yanji press down on her back. However, their posture was too ambiguous. Soon, Little Chi felt the change in the man's body temperature behind her. You still don't plan to let go of me? He Yanji understood. He helped her up and placed her on the sand. You know it's dangerous, but you still came out. Are you referring to yourself by the danger you're talking about? I think you're the one who's plotting against me. Little Chi raised her head and looked at He Yanji. There was only a weak light coming in from the window, but He Yenji seemed to see little Chi's proud expression. Why are you still making a fuss if you know? He Yenji took the opportunity to pinch her slender waist. He Yenji, if someone wants us to separate and their attitude is very firm, what would you do? Little Chi suddenly asked He Yenji seriously. He Yenji was silent for a few seconds. In the darkness, he pinched little Chi's palm. I want to ask you this too. After all, from my point of view, you have many better choices. Answer me first. Little Chi was very persistent. He Yenji fell into deep thought again. After pausing for a moment, he replied, Shaoan, it's too shallow between us to talk about this anymore. What lifelong promise? I can't give you that long. I feel that only you can understand how strong the feelings in the depths of my heart are. Do you still need me to answer this question? You men are not likable at all. No matter how much you do, you don't like to say it out loud and let women know. Little Chi slowly moved closer to He Yenji's arms and wrapped her arms around his waist. I'm not afraid that you'll give up on me. I just don't like you to be wronged, especially when those grievances were brought to you by my family. I'll feel even worse. You? Do you know something? He Yenji keenly sensed little Chi's emotions and the reason why she wanted to stay the night. I don't know anything. Ji Chu, that big mouth. How smart was He Yenji? How could he be so easily fooled? You also know that Ji Chu is very loyal to you. I just casually interrogated him and he confessed everything. Don't blame him. Besides, little Chi raised her head and looked at He Yenji's chin in the darkness. How can you have the nerve to talk about him? Why didn't you tell me about my grandma? Chapter 11:14. Little Chi immediately fell silent. A moment later, she saw He Yenji put her on the sand and whispered, No matter what you hear, don't come out. Little Chi reached out and wanted to grab He Yenji, but he was too fast. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared from the door of the room and went next door. Little Chi suddenly thought that she was not weak. Why did she hide here and let him face the danger alone? Thinking of this, Little Chi followed him out and saw that the door next door was open, and He Yenji was at the door of Ji Chu's bedroom. What's wrong? Little Chi walked to He Yenji's side and saw that the pillow on Ji Chu's bed had been chopped into pieces. It was a dummy that He Yenji had deliberately set up. There was a pillow in the bedding. This is why you let Ji Chu sleep in your room. There are some experts around that long guy. After He Yenji said that, he led Little Chi back to his room. Go in and sleep. What about Ji Chu? The other party didn't succeed. He knows that I'm on guard, so he won't make a move so soon, He Yenji replied. Then there's nothing to be afraid of? He Yenji didn't say anything because he didn't know how to answer. Gang members were the most vengeful. Some people could endure for many years just to pay the price for finding their enemies. Then why don't you go in? Little Chi looked at He Yenji in confusion and tugged at him. You want me to stay in the room alone again? He Yenji was unmoved. He only said with a hint of warning, when you have your 18th birthday, I don't need your invitation at all. After Little Chi heard this, she didn't move. A moment later, she lay down on the sand. If you don't go in, I won't go in either. We'll sleep outside, and keep watch for Ji Chu. He Yenji couldn't help but tense up and his head hurt. Did this little woman know that he was about to reach the limit of his endurance? Come on. Little Chi patted the spot beside her. It's very spacious. He Yenji was helpless. He put on his clothes and lay down beside Little Chi. He saw Little Chi turn over and lie on his chest. There was a smile in her words. I'm just teasing you like this. It's quite fun. You used to be so bad, but after 5 years you've restrained yourself? This big boss is really useless. Only you would dare to play me like this. He Yenji was angry and helpless. I haven't seen you fight so fiercely. What's it like? He Yen subconsciously touched the hideous scar on the back of his hand. It was an unforgettable experience. I saved Brother Yang's life. I pulled him back from the hands of 3 assassins. Because of that, my hand was almost crippled. What was it like at that time? Little Chi touched the back of his hand because she couldn't imagine how heavy the cut was to leave such a scar. The hand was attached from the back. At that time, only a layer of skin was left. Do you regret taking this path? Little Chi asked gently. At that time, I had no other choice. Brother Nan betrayed me and my uncle was also involved. That was the only way I could save my life. Only then could I seek justice for Aunt Hong and Grandma. I just feel sorry for you, but I've never really hated you. I'm very satisfied that my beloved can return to my side, Little Chi answered warmly. Chapter 11:15. Just like that, the young couple spent the night in the living room. The next morning, Ji-Chu came out of the bedroom and saw He-Yenji and little Chi hugging each other and sleeping on the sofa. He quickly left He-Yenji's room quietly and returned next door. However, when he saw the pillow on the bed that had been chopped into a mess, he still had a lingering fear. As expected, Brother He's calculations were accurate. He knew that the man surnamed Long was not an ordinary person. However, He-Yenji did not sleep well because he soon received a call from Brother Yang. Something happened in the imperial court last night. Come and negotiate with the police. Got it, Brother Yang. He-Yenji sat up from the sofa. Seeing that little Chi was sleeping soundly, he did not disturb her. He just looked at the time. It was only a little past 6, so he got up and went to the kitchen. After making breakfast, He-Yenji turned to the second bedroom. Now that Ji-Chu had already gone out, he had probably seen the tragic situation in the bed next door. This was also a reminder to him that he had to be careful in the future. However, this man surnamed Long could not be allowed to continue. At 7 o'clock in the morning, little Chi woke up from the sofa and found that He-Yenji had already washed up and prepared breakfast. This was the first time little Chi had seen He-Yenji wearing a leather coat. In addition, He-Yenji was wearing black gloves. The man's handsome and cold aura was completely revealed on his body. Why could a man be so handsome in a leather coat? Are you stunned? He-Yenji pulled out a chair for her and waved. Wash up. After breakfast, Ji-Chu will send you to school. I have to go deal with something. Deal with, what kind of thing? Little Chi really wanted to see what He-Yenji looked like when he dealt with things. It has nothing to do with you. Hurry up. He-Yenji waved. It's not like I'll lose a piece of meat if you let me go and take a look. I'll just lose a piece of meat. After saying that, He-Yenji quickly walked to little Chi and pulled her to the dining table. Just leave it after you're done eating. I'm going out first. Okay. Little Chi agreed verbally and did not struggle anymore. He-Yenji was afraid that little Chi would follow him, so he went out early. However, he had no idea that not long after he went out, little Chi quickly called Ji-Chu and followed behind He-Yenji. However, He-Yenji was very vigilant, so Ji-Chu didn't dare to get too close. In the end, he even lost him. Little Chi was a little distressed. According to this path, guess where your brother he went? Ji-Chu thought about it and his eyes lit up. Imperial Dynasty. Hearing these two words, little Chi knew that it was the biggest nightclub in Jianchuan. Previously, Brother Nan was in charge of it, but this place had been taken back by He-Yenji. He had already returned it to Brother Yang. Nothing good can come to this place so early in the morning. Sure enough, when the two of them arrived near the imperial court, they saw He-Yenji standing at the entrance of the imperial court. At his feet was a corpse covered with a white cloth. There were police officers all around. When the current person in charge of the imperial court saw He-Yenji appear, it was as if he had seen his savior. Brother He, you're finally here? What's going on? He-Yenji asked solemnly. I don't know how, but he died in our imperial court. The police are investigating the cause. How are we going to do business like this? He-Yenji squatted down, lifted the white cloth, took a look and then covered it. You are the real person in charge of the imperial court? The police officer at the side sized He-Yenji up and asked. Comrade Police, is there a problem? He-Yenji asked. There's a big problem. Wait for our forensic doctor's autopsy report. The police were unwilling to say more. They only asked the people of the imperial court to cooperate with the investigation. Moreover, it was impossible for them to open for business in the near future. Chapter 11:16. Brother He, someone has set us up. I know. He-Yenji replied calmly to the manager of the imperial court. Go down and gather the information first. Prepare a copy of this person's information for me. Since the other party has already made a move, we can't be too passive. Also, gather all the employees of the imperial court. I have questions to ask. Okay, I'll do it right away. But Brother He, there's something that I'm very worried about. You know, the imperial court used to be Brother Nan's territory. There have been many dirty tricks done here in the past. If the police investigate, it might not be easy to explain. In the end, the manager was just a manager. He was afraid of taking responsibility. Even though he had just taken office, he had heard enough about the imperial court. I'm afraid that the imperial court might not be able to hold on. This isn't something you should worry about. He-Yenji patted him on the shoulder. Just do what I tell you to do. Okay. With He-Yenji's words, the manager felt much more at ease. He turned around and went back to the imperial court to get busy. Yenji took out his phone and called Brother Yang first. Then he waited for the forensic team of the police. However, Yenji never expected that the person who came to do the autopsy would be his mother-in-law. When Mu Chichi appeared in front of the imperial court, even little Chi, who was hiding at the side, was shocked. It was a little awkward to meet under such circumstances. Mu Chichi was not as relaxed as she was at home. When she arrived at the scene, she only glanced at Yenji before squatting in front of the corpse. She put on rubber gloves and carefully examined it. The preliminary conclusion is that the victim died of asphyxiation. The time of death was between 2 and 4 in the morning. There were no obvious injuries on the body. We still need to collect samples for a poison test. I want to see the crime scene. Manager, bring the forensic doctor in. Yenji pretended that he had never seen Mu Chichi before and spoke in a businesslike tone. Are you in charge of this place? Mu Chichi asked meaningfully when she entered the imperial court. I'm the current person in charge. Yenji answered in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. You don't feel guilty at all. Because I know that forensic Dr. Mu will definitely give the most impartial judgment. But, can your place withstand an inspection? How insightful was Mu Chichi? How could he not know about the impact this matter had on the imperial dynasty? Whether I can take it or not, I will cooperate, Yenji answered Mu Chichi seriously. If you offend someone, you should deal with it immediately. I trust my daughter's judgment. Don't let me down. With that, Mu Chichi led the forensic team into the crime scene. After Yenji heard this, he followed her into the imperial court's private room. Outside the door, little Chi was lying under a big tree not far away. She was anxious. What did the two of them say? Her mother did not bully or make things difficult for Yenji, did she? Half an hour later, Mu Chichi left the private room with her team. When she left the imperial court, she said to Yenji, I still need to examine the corpse further. Yenji, cooperate at any time. I won't let you down. Thank you, Auntie. Tisk, he's handsome no matter how I look at him. No wonder my daughter is so distracted. Don't bully her. When everyone heard about the relationship between Mu Chichi and Yenji, they were surprised. After all, Yenji was a gangster. Everyone in the forensic team knew that. But how could Mu Chichi dare to hand her daughter over to such an outlaw? Don't worry, Auntie. I cherish her very much. That's enough. See you later. With that, Mu Chichi left with her team. At this time, someone in the team asked Mu Chichi, Forensic Dr. Mu, this young man can't be your son-in-law, right? Chapter 11:17. Why? Mu Chichi narrowed her eyes and turned to ask. He seems to be the boss here. He seems to be from the underworld. A young male forensic doctor answered Mu Chichi, trembling with fear. After Mu Chichi heard this, she smiled and answered, I understand. At your age, the world is either black or white, and good and bad are clearly distinguished. After all, I was also young once. I can understand your hatred of evil, but this world is often not as simple as you see it. Whether he can be my son-in-law or not, I have my own judgment. I believe in my daughter's choice. The few forensic doctors behind her opened their mouths at the same time, but they couldn't say anything because they really didn't expect the Xing family's upbringing to be so valiant. Mu Chichi actually allowed her daughter to find an outlaw. Mu Chichi knew that others couldn't accept it, but she didn't care about other people's opinions. It would be a pity if a handsome guy like Yenji didn't become her son-in-law, okay? Not far away, Yenji watched his mother-in-law leave. Just as he was frowning and guessing what she was thinking, little Chi ran over from under the tree. What did my mom say to you? When Yenji saw little Chi appear, he immediately raised his hand and looked at his watch. Why are you here? It's already time for class. If I didn't come to see you, how would I know that you're involved in a murder case? After Yenji heard this, he pulled little Chi to the side and carefully reminded her, this matter has nothing to do with you. I can handle it. Go back to class immediately, okay? Yenji, I can ignore it and go to class immediately, but you can't hide everything from me because I don't want to hear the news that you've been arrested and brought to the police station in just one day when I'm done with class. Little Chi grabbed Yenji's arm and didn't let go. Are you going to leave without saying goodbye a second time? Yenji was stunned for a moment and softened his attitude. He reached out and rubbed little Chi's head. I'm just here on Brother Yang's orders to cooperate with the police investigation. I'm also confused about the death, but I can promise you that I won't be implicated in this matter, okay? Really? You won't? I was with you last night. This can't be blamed on me, right? Yenji chuckled. So, my little girlfriend, can you let me rest assured first? Why don't you feel at ease? You're always afraid that I'll leave. Do I really make you feel so insecure? Hiyenji hugged little Chi helplessly and asked. What do you think? Forget it, I'll send you to school. Hiyenji knew that little Chi's aftereffects were very serious, so he felt extremely guilty. You don't care about this place anymore? The people below know how to deal with them first. Hiyenji pulled little Chi into the car and personally sent her to the entrance of Jianchuan Middle School. However, after arriving, little Chi did not get out of the car immediately. Instead, she tilted her head and looked at Hiyenji. You won't tell me what Grandma said to you. What about my mother? What did my mom say to you? Hiyenji held the steering wheel and couldn't help but laugh. If they don't like me, are you going to oppose the whole world? Of course. Little Chi answered matter-of-factly, my grandmother has my grandfather, my mother has my father, but you only have me. After hearing this, Hiyenji was very touched. He couldn't help but hold little Chi's chin, bring her closer to him and kiss her. Chapter 11:18. How can I bear to let you and your family go against each other? Your grandmother and mother don't hate me. I'm serious. After the kiss, Hiyenji answered little Chi very seriously, so, can you please stop letting your imagination run wild? There are no despicable mothers-in-law in this world, and there are no parents who would break up a couple. Don't look at these things all day long. Besides, this matter will be over soon. Little Chi didn't know how Hiyenji was going to deal with it. She could only try her best to trust him. I can trust you, but don't always treat me like a child. I'm about to become an adult. There's still more than half a year. Hiyenji replied casually. Do you think I haven't endured it hard? Little Chi's face suddenly heated up, and she quickly got out of the car. Pick me up tonight? Aren't you going home tonight? I want to accompany you. Little Chi's answer was natural and carried a hint of coquettishness. This immediately made Hiyenji have an extreme urge. He wanted nothing more than to pull her back immediately, press her into the front passenger seat, and kiss her until the end of time. However, this little troublemaker was not mature enough for him to take whatever he wanted. As a result, Hiyenji could only resist the urge in his heart and drive away after little Chi entered the school gate. Soon, Hiyenji returned to the imperial court. At this time, all the employees of the imperial court were standing at the luxurious entrance of the imperial court, waiting for orders. Hiyenji walked over and saw the manager immediately come up to him. Brother I've cleared out the people who were still working between 2 and 4 o'clock last night. I've also taken out the surveillance footage. What else do you need? I don't need anything. Hiyenji shook his head. Then I'll go deal with other things first. Wait a minute, what were you doing at that time last night? Hiyenji suddenly grabbed the manager and asked, also don't leave yet. You'll take over the questioning. Finally, add your own statement. I'm going to meet a very important person at noon. Yes, I'm going to meet him. Okay, give them whatever the police want, Hiyenji instructed. Okay, I'll cooperate fully. Hiyenji curled his lips into a faint smile. He held his phone and entered the scene of the imperial court's case with Jichu. Brother are you suspecting the manager? After all, Jichu had followed Hiyenji for a long time, so he could tell what Hiyenji was thinking. If no one helped, who do you think would be able to kill someone in such a secretive manner? So, I believe that they are working together. The imperial dynasty isn't like a hotel, it's always full. To kill someone silently under such circumstances, and to be discovered in the morning, do you think it's an accident? Hearing this, Jichu nodded his head. That's impossible. If you treat the manager like this, will he notice something? Although he has always listened to my orders, he has always been unconvinced in his heart. He thinks that I don't have the right to ride on his head, so he definitely won't believe that a brat like me will see through the tricks inside. Hiyenji squatted on the ground and carefully observed the scene. Then you said you were going to meet someone at noon. Who is it? Witness. Hiyenji answered simply with 2 words. The person surnamed Long knew the person who bribed Brother Yang, so of course he could do the same. After a few dealings, Hiyenji knew very well that the people around the person surnamed Long were definitely not loyal servants. They could be bribed. Chapter 11:19. At the same time, the news of the death in the imperial court had spread to the surroundings. Other than the fact that the imperial court was the largest nightclub in Jianchuan, it was also because there was a person who was deeply gossiped about, and that was Hiyenji. He had always been brave and good at fighting, as if it was only a matter of time before he involved human lives. This made the people in the school look at little Chi a little strange. In the past they didn't dare to get close to her, and now they couldn't wait to avoid her. Only Yan Zhen dared to continue being little Chi's best friend. Seeing that Yan Zhen's friends were getting fewer and fewer, little Chi couldn't bear it. She took advantage of the lunch break and said to her, "You'd better stay away from me. Otherwise you won't have any friends other than me in the future." Yan Zhen lay on little Chi's body. Because her good friend was here, she felt a little helpless. "What are you talking about? Am I such a shallow person?" You have no conscience. But then again, did he Yanji really kill someone?" Yan Zhen asked nosily. Little Chi rolled her eyes and explained unhappily, "Of course not. He's just dealing with the murder case in the imperial court. How did these people make him a murderer? It's not like you don't know that your guy is handsome, cool, dangerous and difficult to conquer. He's always in the middle of the vortex of gossip. Even if those little girls can't get him, they can't help but pay attention to his heart," Yan Zhen replied with a smile. "By the way, doesn't your family have any objections at all?" Little Chi shook her head. She didn't know about this because both her grandmother and mother had already had a serious conversation with He Yanji. However, He Yanji had never let her know what the content was. When others fall in love, it's sweet. When you fall in love, it's earth-shattering. After little Chi heard this, she snorted loudly. "Do you think I want to? But why did the matter between her and He Yanji have to be magnified?" What? When school ended, little Chi found the answer. At the school gate, He Yanji was wearing a leather coat and leaning against the car door in a cool manner. His noble aura was natural. With just a glance, people would fall into it. It was no wonder that his matter would cause a huge uproar. "What's wrong?" He Yanji saw that little Chi's expression was strange. He took her school bag and asked gently, "What do you think, comrade murderer?" Little Chi replied angrily. He Yanji frowned slightly and looked at the gazes of the people around him. He discovered that regardless of whether it was a man or a woman, their eyes were filled with avoidance and fear. "Sorry, I didn't know it would have such a big impact." "Boss," he apologized to his concubine. "Do you think I care?" Little Chi sat in the front passenger seat and asked him back. She was a little emotional. "Then what right do these people have to say that about you?" Little Chi explained to He Yanji angrily, "No one pays attention to the truth behind it. As long as it's news about you, they treat it as gossip and exaggerate it wantonly. I can't take it anymore." After hearing little Chi's explanation, He Yanji couldn't help but laugh. He reached out and pinched her face. "I got it, know what? I'm very happy that you're so protective of me." He Yanji laughed from the bottom of his heart. "This matter will be resolved soon. You don't have to take it to heart. Go home and do your homework." "Do you need tutoring?" "As long as you want." He Yanji agreed readily. "The kind where you can kiss me if you do your homework right?" Little Chi asked. Chapter 11:20. "It's fine if it's a little bigger," He Yanji answered in a good mood. Little Chi was satisfied when she heard that. She finally stopped whining about school matters. "But how's the investigation of the murder case going? You really want to hear about it?" He Yanji asked little Chi as he drove. "Don't think it's complicated. I want to hear about it." He Yanji pursed his lips with a faint smile. Then he told the little girl the current situation. The deceased was a single man who lived alone. He was a frequent visitor to the imperial court. When he died, he was in room V310 in the imperial court. It was between 2 and 4 in the morning. However, the strange thing was that at that time, there was no private room at all in V310, and there was no service. The surveillance cameras didn't capture any suspicious people. Even the cleaners didn't go in. How did that person die inside? Little Chi listened very seriously. As Mu Chichi's daughter, she had her own sensitivity to this aspect. "The police are still investigating. What about you? That's all you know?" Little Chi didn't believe it. He Yanji's brain was too smart. Sometimes she even suspected that He Yanji was her father's child with someone else. At that time, the manager was serving a regular customer in V210. He has an alibi. "You suspect this manager?" Little Chi immediately grasped the main point of He Yanji's words. "Why do you think so? You didn't say anything to anyone and just directly mentioned this manager. Aren't you suspecting him? Moreover, according to the layout of V210 and V310, other than the different floors, the locations of the rooms should be exactly the same. Is there something mysterious about this?" After He Yenji heard this, he looked at little Chi approvingly. This girl was really smart. She understood everything. I have a guess, so I'll go to the forensics laboratory of the Jianchuan branch tomorrow morning. You're going to see my mom again, right? He Yenji knew what she was worried about, so he asked, tomorrow is Saturday. Do you want to go with me? Yes, in case my mom bullies you. Little Chi nodded heavily. Then after we go back to the hotel, you can't mention the murder case anymore. Just focus on your homework, okay? He Yenji made his request. Got it, teacher He. After returning to the hotel, He Yenji led little Chi into the room and signaled her with his eyes to take out her homework. He went to the bedroom to make a call. Although the Sheng family indulged little Chi, he had to follow the rules. He had to report to Xing Xiao in advance that little Chi was not going home. Then he returned to the living room. At this time, Ji-Chu also took out something and looked at He Yenji with some difficulty. Brother He, I've already gotten what you wanted. Send it to the place I told you. But, is this really okay? Ji-Chu was a little worried. He Yenji wanted the Imperial Court's account book. It was divided into two parts. One was when Brother Nan was in charge, and the other was after he took back the Imperial Court. In addition, there was a list of names. He believed that the police would like this list. If you don't want to be stabbed by the traitor, then do as I say. Alright, I'll go right away. Ji-Chu could not think of He Yenji's methods, and he was not as thoughtful as He Yenji. He was simply afraid that things would get out of hand and Brother Yang would use him as a shield in the future. He Yenji nodded and took off his leather coat. Then he sat down behind little Chi and held her with both hands. Teacher He, the lesson has begun. Little Chi turned her head and tried her best to kiss him. Teach me this first. He Yenji lowered his head and kissed little Chi's red lips. I'll give you a question. If you do 80% right, I'll agree to your kiss. If you do 100% right, I'll let you do whatever you want. Really? Little Chi's eyes lit up. Really? Little Chi immediately became excited and told He Yenji, it can't be too difficult. Chapter 11:21. It's good that you know. I'm hanging up. Mom, He Yenji and I are going to the forensics laboratory tomorrow. Don't make things difficult for him, okay? Little Chi did not forget this matter. After all, He Yenji was now the target of the investigation. Little Chi was afraid that her mother would be very strict. Mu Chi was shocked when she heard this. In terms of feelings, little Chi was exactly the same as her. No one could bully the person in their heart. Therefore, other than feeling helpless, Mu Chi could not do anything to little Chi. I won't make things difficult for him, okay? That's more like it. He Yenji was outside the door because little Chi did not close the door tightly. He did not deliberately eavesdrop. However, hearing little Chi protect him like this, He Yenji's heart was extremely touched. Because other than repaying his sincerity, he did not know how to treat little Chi well. Sometimes he was a little at a loss. At 8 o'clock in the evening, He Yenji brought Ji-Chu to the hall of the Imperial Court. At this time, the manager was reprimanding the service staff. At this moment, He Yenji had the statements of all the employees of the Imperial Court in his hands. Of course, the manager's was also mixed in. Brother He, why are you here at this time? The manager turned around and saw He Yenji. He quickly came up to him. There are some things I can't figure out, so I have a few questions to ask you. He Yenji held the statements and pretended to be confused. People died in room 31, but no one went to room 31. According to your thoughts, how do you think the murderer did it? The manager scratched his head and looked very troubled. Brother He, you're overestimating me. I only know how to manage the accounts, I don't know how to reason. You were in room 21 and room 31 was above you. Didn't you hear anything at all? He Yenji deliberately emphasized the geographical location of the two rooms. There were guests in the room at that time. It was too noisy, the manager answered matter-of-factly. I think so too. However, there's new progress in the forensics department. I believe that this matter will come to light soon. After saying that, He Yenji instructed the manager, I've picked out a few people. Find them in order. I want to talk to them. Okay. The manager nodded and carefully sized He Yenji up. This was because He Yenji had secretly revealed a lot of important things to arouse the manager's vigilance. Soon, the manager found him and pretended to ask He Yenji casually, Brother He, what's the progress? 31. It's not the first scene at all. After saying this, He Yenji turned around with a smile. However, the manager was stunned on the spot, and cold sweat quickly seeped from his palms. Then He Yenji asked the waiters some irrelevant questions. About half an hour later he let the last waiter go. I'll go to the forensics laboratory tomorrow. If the police come to investigate, just cooperate. Yenji deliberately revealed this news to the manager before he left. "'Kay brother, I know what to do," the manager answered cautiously. Yenji left with Ji-Chu, and then he heard Ji-Chu's question. "Brother why did you let this manager know so much? If I didn't do this, how could I force him to reveal himself?" Yenji asked Ji-Chu meaningfully. "Don't worry about it. This case will be solved tomorrow." "Really?" Ji-Chu was confused. This case was still a mess. It would be solved tomorrow? "Go back to sleep. Tomorrow it'll be someone else's headache." Yenji's face was relaxed because as long as he thought about hugging his little wife to sleep later, his heart would be filled with excitement. Chapter 11:22. The next morning Yenji bought 3 breakfasts, brought his wife, and went straight to the Jianchuan branch's forensics laboratory. The police officers from the branch also knew this new big shot. They brought the Sheng family's daughter and rushed to the forensics laboratory. They didn't know what Forensic Mu was thinking. Was he going to push his daughter into the fire pit just like that? However, this was the Sheng family's matter after all. It didn't seem like others could interfere. Just by looking at his looks, Yenji was indeed a rare handsome man. Some people would even believe it if they said he was a celebrity. When they arrived at the forensics laboratory, Mu Chichi had just started work. Little Chi was very good at pleasing her mother. She handed the breakfast Yenji had bought to her mother. "Although you might have eaten at home, Yenji still bought it. Put it there. I'll destroy it when I'm hungry later." Mu Chichi put on her white coat and gloves and looked at Yenji. "Tell me what you're thinking." "I found some suspicious traces in room 21, especially on the windowsill. So, I suspect that the victim was killed in room 21 and was thrown into room 31 by the murderer through the windowsill. Is there such a possibility?" After Mu Chichi heard Yenji's guess, she handed him the autopsy report. There are indeed 2 kinds of marks on the victim's neck. One is the strangulation mark of an adult man's right hand. In addition, we found fibers on his neck. It should be a kind of rope. So, your guess is not unreasonable. Everyone focused on room 31, but they relaxed the examination of room 21. This also gave the murderer time to destroy the evidence. "I secretly left the surveillance footage of room 21 that night, as well as the traces left on the windowsill," Yenji answered Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi looked at Yenji approvingly and nodded. "Then this case will be easy to solve." Yenji thought so too. He handed over all the evidence to the police. However, just as Yenji was about to leave the branch with Little Chi, the police in the team stopped him. "Your people from the Imperial Court have sent a document. I need you to cooperate with an investigation." As expected, they're taking action. Yenji sneered. "Yenji?" Little Chi was a little nervous. Didn't the death have nothing to do with Yenji? "It's okay. Wait for me for 10 minutes. I promise I'll come out." Yenji patted the back of Little Chi's hand to comfort her. Although Little Chi was worried, she still chose to believe him. After that, Yenji followed the criminal police into the interrogation room, while Little Chi went to the forensics laboratory. "Why aren't you leaving?" "Mom, this has nothing to do with Yenji, right?" Mu Chichi crossed her arms and snorted. "It's good enough that he doesn't scheme against others. That brain of his is not something that can be compared to. Don't worry." "So, are you praising him?" Little Chi immediately became excited. "Who was it that called me last night and asked me to let that kid go?" Mu Chichi pinched her daughter's face. "You're really like me. You know that he doesn't need your protection, but you're still worried." Little Chi leaned on her mother's shoulder and rubbed hard. "You're the one who taught me to love people." Mu Chichi looked down at her daughter. She was a little disgusted, but there was nothing she could do. With her genes, she could not be reserved. In the interrogation room, the police opened the document and asked Yenji, "This is a report. Do you know about it?" I know," Yenji answered calmly. Chapter 11:23. Then how can you be so calm? The interrogator looked at Yenji in disbelief. He was so young, but he was a big shot. Who knew how many dirty things he had done behind the scenes and how many lives he had taken? Yenji didn't say anything. He just took out his phone, found a phone number, and dialed it in front of the police. "Be serious. You can't make a phone call now," the police officer immediately scolded. Yenji was unmoved. He threw the phone to the interrogator. "Listen to what your boss has to say." The other party took the phone and put it to his ear in confusion. At first, his expression was cold, but a minute later, he began to nod and bow respectfully. Sure enough, in less than 10 minutes, He Yenji walked out of the interrogation room unscathed. Little Chi immediately went up to him, grabbed his arm and asked, "How was it?" "I'm fine." He Yenji comforted Little Chi. "That's good. I'll take you to watch a good show." After saying that, He Yenji held Little Chi's hand and got out of the car, leaving behind the police officer who was interrogating He Yenji with a face full of confusion. What was this kid's identity? On the way back, Little Chi couldn't hold back her curiosity and asked He Yenji, "What did they say to you?" The manager of the Imperial Court handed the account book to the police and also reported that the Imperial Court was engaged in illegal business. He Yenji explained calmly. According to him, the police can use these things to find out Brother Yang's background. After all, Brother Nan was also Brother Yang's underling. "Are you sure it's the manager? Other than him, no one else has access to such a detailed account book." Little Chi nodded. "That's true. Things won't get more and more complicated, right?" "Is it complicated?" He Yenji didn't think much of it. "The case has already been solved. In a while we'll know all the answers." After saying that, He Yenji sped up the car and returned to the Imperial Court as fast as he could. Because of the murder case, the Imperial Court was closed for investigation. It was no longer as lively and prosperous as before. He Yenji pushed open the door of the Imperial Court and saw Ji-Chu coming up to him. He secretly said to He Yenji, "Brother He, the manager didn't escape. Did you misunderstand him? Invite the manager to the office," He Yenji instructed Ji-Chu. "Then send your sister-in-law back to the hotel." "I'm not going back." Little Chi looked around the hall of the Imperial Court. This was the first time she had come to such a place for fun. Of course she had to have fun. He Yenji reached out and pulled Little Chi in front of him. He told her seriously, "Didn't you ask me what your grandmother said to me before? Not letting you appear in this kind of place is one of the conditions I promised her. Do you want to make things difficult for me?" Little Chi pouted unhappily. "Will you listen to me?" Little Chi took a deep breath and finally nodded in compromise. "All right then. I'll listen to you for now. When he became an adult, he would have to think about it carefully. Ji-Chu, take good care of sister-in-law." He Yenji pushed Little Chi to Ji-Chu. "Don't worry, Brother He." Ji-Chu stood at the side and replied solemnly. Little Chi walked out of the Imperial Court with some disappointment. She got into He Yenji's car and waited for Ji-Chu to send her back to the hotel. It turned out that He Yenji had promised her grandmother such a thing. Since they were talking about conditions, then her grandmother should have made it difficult for that fool. "Sister-in-law, just listen to Brother He. No matter what, he won't hurt you. It's always for your own good." On the way back, Ji-Chu helped He Yenji put in a good word for him in front of Little Chi. Chapter 11:24. I know he's doing this for my own good. However, Little Chi was worried that He Yenji would mistreat himself for her own good. In the manager's office in the Imperial Court, He Yenji sat on the office chair with two subordinates standing behind him. He was waiting for the manager's arrival. The account book had already been handed over. Logically speaking, the manager's goal should have been achieved, but he didn't take the opportunity to escape. Could it be that there was something he wanted here? "Brother He, you're looking for me?" The manager pushed the door open and entered. His tone was no different from usual. "It's not a big deal. It's just that I went to the Jianchuan branch office in the morning and was detained. I was interrogated for 10 minutes. He Yenji answered slowly as he adjusted his gloves. "Is it because of the murder case?" "Manager, where is the account book of the Imperial Court?" He Yenji saw that the manager was still trying to escape, so he went straight to the point. "This." The manager was stunned for a moment, then said cunningly, "You asked me to cooperate with the police investigation, so I handed it over to the police. The police didn't want to investigate the business of the Imperial Court. I already asked before I left." He Yenji mercilessly exposed him. After saying that, He Yenji placed the account book he had taken from the police on the desk. "Aren't you being too careless?" Seeing this, the manager's expression changed. He knew that he couldn't hide it anymore, so he said, "I didn't expect you to collude with the police." "You're wrong." He Yenji sneered and got up from the chair. "I've already divided your so-called account book into 2 parts and handed it over to the police in advance. As for your report on the criminal transactions of the Imperial Court, I've already handed it over to the police. You schemed against me?" The manager immediately understood that he had fallen into He Yanji's trap. No one killed people in 301 because you killed people there and then dumped the bodies there. You wanted to ruin the reputation of the imperial court and take the opportunity to suppress Brother Yang. Am I right? Seeing that his plan had been exposed, the manager no longer hid it. I underestimated you. You call me Brother He on the surface, but you've always been unconvinced, right? What kind of conditions did that long guy give you to make you betray Brother Yang? That's none of your business. The manager tilted his head, unwilling to reveal more. Of course it's none of my business, but don't forget, what happened in the 21st century will be found out sooner or later. At that time, you won't be facing me but the police, He Yanji said coldly as he leaned against the edge of the office chair. You won't be able to find any evidence. I've already destroyed it. Are you talking about surveillance or something else? He Yanji raised the manager. The few people who entered 21 are all suspects. Looking at the time, the police have already taken action. Do you think they will confess to you? The manager was stunned again. Don't blame me for not giving you a chance. What else does Long want from me? The manager's psychological defense was broken bit by bit, but he still hoped to get lucky. It's fine if you don't want to tell me. He Yanji clenched his fists and grabbed the manager's lapel. Do you think you still have a choice? You've probably heard how I got to where I am today. Do you want to have a taste of my fist? Brother He, let us handle this kind of thing. The two henchmen behind He Yanji immediately stepped forward and said, No need. He Yanji directly threw the man out. I don't like it when people are backstabbed. Either tell me or die. Chapter 11:25. In the eyes of others, He Yanji was rarely ruthless. However, some of Brother Yang's subordinates had seen He Yanji get angry. When the manager saw that He Yanji was really angry, he immediately got up from the ground. I was just greedy for money. I was bribed by Brother Long. He didn't order me to do anything else. I just took a fancy to a woman from Imperial Court and wanted to take her away with me. Do you think I believe that? He Yanji asked. It doesn't matter if you say it or not. Anyway, when we get to the police station you'll spit it all out. When the manager heard the words police station, he immediately waved his hand. I didn't kill her. It was Brother Long's men. Then do you know why your Brother Long needed you to be there at that time? Because if someone dies, none of you can escape responsibility. Do you think you just took the money to help frame Imperial Court? No, you sacrificed yourself. Because once this matter is found out by the police, you and the murderers won't be able to escape. As for him, he only needs to spend some money and use his connections. Who can prove that he hired someone to kill someone? After hearing He Yanji's analysis, the manager became even more terrified. Brother He, I don't want to go to jail. Tell the police everything that needs to be said. Try to get your sentence reduced. After saying that, He Yanji gestured for the two subordinates behind him to send the manager directly to the police station. After that, He Yanji called Brother Yang and briefly explained what had happened, as well as the investigation that Imperial Court might face in the future. After Brother Yang heard this, he was very pleased. You're the most reliable of the few people under you. It doesn't matter if Imperial Court is gone. We still have other shops to support. Most importantly, we can't let the police continue to investigate. Don't worry, the police won't be able to find any more. This was the prerequisite for He Yanji to hand in the list and clues. However, he also added a few new things to the list. Now, the one to suffer will be that Long fellow, right? Brother Yang, please wait and watch the show. Yanji, I only trust you now. Do well. Sooner or later this chair of mine will be yours. After saying that, Brother Yang hung up the phone. However, this made He Yanji frown. It was impossible for him to say that he didn't want to be the boss. After all, he had embarked on this path. However, he believed that Brother Yang was also a good boss. He had never mistreated him. Therefore, he couldn't bring himself to pull Brother Yang down. After handing him over, He Yanji left the Imperial Court. As for the rest, the police would give the Imperial Dynasty an answer. But since they handed over the books, it meant that the Imperial Dynasty was going to seal them up. However, losing an Imperial Dynasty to take down that surnamed Long was worth it. Soon, the police arrested and interrogated the people involved. Because there were 5 or 6 people, they set up traps for each other and quickly found out the cause and effect of the murder. Among them, the murderer was Brother Long's underling. Therefore, this fire quickly burned onto Brother Long. That was because the clues that He Yanji gave included a few illegal businesses that Brother Long had been involved in after coming from the north. The police quickly summoned Brother Long. Of course, it wasn't a big deal to just summon him. The key was how to take the last few steps. However, just hearing the news that Brother Long had been summoned made Brother Yang feel good. In the hotel, little Chi waited for He Yanji for the entire afternoon. Because she had promised her mother that she would go home today, if He Yanji didn't go home, there would be no need for a date on Saturday. However, since he had something to do, she would spare him. Little Chi picked up her school bag and was about to go home when He Yanji suddenly pushed the door open and came in. "You're leaving? I'm going home today." He Yanji grabbed little Chi and pressed her against the wall. He lifted her chin and kissed her. "Don't even think about going anywhere. That you're tuning in to the Han Lee's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.